Hi, I'm Mark Maron, and I feel happy about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
Jesus, said like a true hostage. Said like a true hostage with a gun at his back. All right, Mark Maron, I got to talk to you about something.
Okay.
This is happening because I'm here at Sirius XM in New York and look down the hall and I see there's Mark Maron, and I bully you into talking to me because I have some things to say to you.
Well, I appreciate that. I did feel bullied, but we have a long history.
We do.
And I thought, well, this is not different than it's ever been.
No.
So I'll do whatever Conan needs me to do.
Yes, you'll do as you are told.
Yes, I will.
Couple of things.
Yeah.
First of all, the other day, it pops up on every screen I have that Mark Maron is saying goodbye to his podcast. And I thought, Jesus, he invented this. So I need to talk to him about it because
I'm an empty nester now. All you guys have gone on to do great things, and you don't need me anymore.
Well, you invented this. You were doing a podcast when no one knew what a podcast was. And I remembered when Barack Obama, a sitting U.S. president, went to your house to do your podcast. And I thought, you've broken through some barrier. And we had a history before that, which is when I was first doing the late night show at Dark Times, 93. I mean, I was loving doing it, but we were going to get canceled any minute. And it was, a lot of people, the word was out, don't do that show. It won't be on long.
Were they? Not comics. We were all ready.
Well, there were plenty of people, including NBC, that were willing to write my death certificate. And you would consistently come on and you would panel. You would just sit with me.
Yeah.
And it was always the same pattern. You would come out, and I don't think people, it's not that people knew who you were then.
No, they didn't.
They didn't. Okay,
most
let's just
of them
say it.
still don't.
And guess what? They didn't know who I was. They were coming to see Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and they weren't sure who this kid was. But I would say, my next guest, Mark Maron, and you would come out, and so the crowd doesn't know who you are. You'd sit down, and it was fascinating to me. You would dig a hole. Mark Maron would dig a hole. Crowd they started out neutral. You would dig a hole where they're like, I don't like this. I don't know who is this man?
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Yeah.
And you would comment on how you had dug a hole, which is a rule that, the great artists, I think, break the rules. The classic rule is never tell people this isn't working.
I know Freddie Roman once said to me, never admit you're bombing.
Yeah. And so you were out there talking about on my panel, this isn't working. I shouldn't have come. I don't know why I'm here. And telling the audience that, and then I'd hear laughter, more laughter, and you would kill. So you always did this thing where you would dig yourself into a hole and then come out of it and shoot out of it like this geyser. And it was a roller coaster ride.
That was the architecture of my life.
Yes.
I would say for the first 30 years, I dug a pretty good hole.
Yeah.
And then just by cosmic timing and coincidental talent, it worked out. But I was talking about this to somebody recently about doing the appearances on your show.
Yeah.
In that, that was I was talking to Richter because I did his podcast last week.
Yeah.
And I said, that was the pattern that you and I established. But what people don't know is that I was really trying in that first minute. I didn't go out there saying every time that like, oh, good, I'm going to do that thing I do where I alienate the audience completely right when I get out there to try to get them back. I went out there wanting that first joke to work every time.
Yeah.
It just did not.
It did
and
not.
then it became a thing.
Yeah.
I think I generally come in hot, and I always knew that they didn't really know me, and I always wanted to just. The reason I always wanted to do panel with you is because when I watched Letterman coming up as a kid, I always liked Richard Lewis, and I liked the guy Jay Leno. The guys that did panel to me, that was more interesting.
Yes.
So very quickly, I tried to get into that relationship with you, and then it happened. I think because we had a good rapport, but also because I was very easy to book on a short notice.
Oh, we would, we would get you when Al Roker dropped out.
That's right.
And
Paula would call me and be like, look, what are you doing tomorrow?
Well, no, she would say, what are you doing in an hour? And you would come by, and it worked. And this is what happened. People started watching the show. Our show started to gradually find itself, and you had been there all along. And then what we said to all comics is, short of it being a Jerry Seinfeld or some, iconic comic, you have to come out and you do your set.
Yeah.
And then maybe you come over for some quick panel.
Yeah.
You didn't do that from the beginning. You only came out really and sat with me. And so comics started to say, I don't want to do a set. I just want to come out and sit there with Conan. And we'd say, yeah, no, you have to do a set. And they'd say, but what about Mark Maron? And I would say, that's different.
Yeah.
That's Mark Maron. He and I have a thing.
Yeah. We're trying to help Mark.
Yeah.
You're doing fine.
It was a program.
Yeah.
And we got federal funding, which is no longer available. But so it's, then you go off, you do the podcast, you kind of, you're the George Washington figure.
But what was funny about that, though, was like when I started doing this podcast, my podcast, a lot of the guys I'd known for years, no one knew what a podcast was. So the general idea was, I'm going to do this podcast. And I think most people were like, well, that's sad. I guess he's just going to set up a mic in his garage, but at least he's doing something. The opinion of it was, it didn't exist on the media landscape. People would come out to my house and a lot of them would be like, I don't even know what neighborhood this is.
Right.
And people would come, like I remember Cranston came out early on and he's like, where am I? And I'm like, well, it's going to be fine. And John Hamm was on. He's like, oh, Hamm did it? Okay. Nobody, it was just, we were there and the business sort of built up around us. And now it's like, it's like cancer.
Rapidly spreading and destroying the organism around it.
Yeah.
I think you're right. The cancer analogy is a good one. And I think I'm a fast-growing cancer.
Which is good. Content is good. Malignant content, better.
Well, all of us owe you a debt of gratitude because I have found, especially in this stage of my career, I loved all the other stuff I did. And because of you, this forum exists where I can do something that I find incredibly satisfying.
Totally.
Because I can have these conversations with people that are very different from the world that we were working together in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Was ladies and gentlemen, Mark Maron. And I know that I've got 5 minutes. And we've got 5 minutes for you for the whole arc to happen.
And I spent an hour and a half on the phone with Frank Smiley.
Frank Smiley, shout out to Frank.
Saying, what else you got?
Yeah,
what else? That's good.
Frank Smiley, a singer producer who still works with me, and I'm going to say this, one of the all-time greats.
The greatest.
He knows comedy back and forth, and he was such a part of the DNA of the early late night show.
What was crazy about it was like the way it worked was, he'd pre-produce a segment, like, what am I going to talk about? So I get on the phone with him and I'd just be pacing around my apartment in New York, sweating, telling him ideas, telling him bits that were kind of working. A lot of times I'd go on with a funny enough thing that became a bigger thing lately, but I would spend an hour and a half and I would just rant and just deliver. And then you just hear Frank go, yeah. What else you got?
Yeah.
And then after spending an hour and a half, he goes, all right, I'll put something together. So I didn't even know. By the time I got to the show, he'd hand me this is what I got. And he transcribed the conversation. I'm like, this is too much. And it was all very exciting.
Well, Frank, early on and to this day, has no problem saying, what are you doing to me? And no, that's not right. And he gets worked up, but he's right often. And I'm going to say 98% of the time he's right. And when he's wrong, it's spectacular.
We used his dad on a bit. When I did that talk show on the street bit.
Yes, yeah.
His dad, it was so sad because Frank was just setting his dad up. It was me on the street. I said, I want to be a talk show host. So we set it up on the street and we were just interviewing people coming by. And Frank had brought his dad in. And, his dad didn't know what he was doing. So his dad goes, what do you want me to do? And Frank says, tell that story that you tell, just so I could look bored.
Yeah.
So his dad's just doing this story that he's been telling for years. And I'm just sitting there like this. And his dad didn't know what was going on. It was a complete setup. It was pretty funny.
I think to this day, huge stars, I'll run into them. And they did the show over the years. And the first thing they say to me is, yeah, that Frank Smiley, is he still with you? Because he made an impression. Sometimes, they all give him credit for making him look funny, him or her look funny, but they will invariably say that fucking guy drove me crazy. And he is a guy who, to this day, if Seinfeld had been on the show, was going to be on the show, he would have said, "What else he got?" You're like, "That's Jerry Seinfeld. That's going to kill." I don't think you can do better.
I remember one time I was on your show and I was the second guest after Trump. And
who I, by the way, early on knew was a great comic.
Yeah, totally great. Good comedic choice. But the funny thing is I remember it because I was in the hallway. I was at 30 Rock in my dressing room, and Frank came in and goes, "You want to meet Trump?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah.
And then I took a shot at him when he went out because it was an appearance where, for some reason, he was playing with a condom.
No. What happened was he was sitting next to me, and we were talking, and I just said, "This is like he's promoting The Apprentice, I think."
Yeah.
And it's an NBC show, so here comes Trump. And I remembered saying to him, "So you're a billionaire. How much money do you carry on you at any one time?" And he went, I don't know. And I know, "Come on, how much money do you have on your pocket right now?" And then I reached over into his blazer pocket and felt something. And he put his hand over my hand really quickly, like, "Don't pull that out."
Yeah.
And we had like a quick tug of war, and I pulled it out, and it was a condom. And he said, "Safe sex, everybody." And it was a real moment. And then we go to commercial. I go, "Okay, Donald Trump, everybody, a reality show host, and he'll never go on to anything else after that."
Yeah.
And
you're always very prescient.
Yeah, very prescient. Yeah. And he was mad. He's like, "I'm not fucking coming on this show again. Goddamn, I don't, and he told my producer, "You don't reach into a guy's pocket," and stuff like that. But then, literally, I don't know, it was a cut to 3 months later. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump.
Well, I remember I came out and I said, "Why is Donald Trump carrying his own condoms? Don't prostitutes usually have them with them?" And then I said, "I'll probably end up dead in the East River."
Yeah. Still could, actually.
Yeah. Just
now
you'll saying it now. I brought it back up, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
Why are we rekindling this?
Yeah.
Now, of all, we're just going to be
because we want a little heat.
We'll be shot by snipers. But I love our arc, our intertwined arc together, going back to 93, all through the years. And then, it's now one of the wonderful things about just lasting or sticking around long enough is that I've had the experience of, at the last minute, Mark Maron will fit in. And then I'm watching you in an amazing movie doing scenes with Robert De Niro. And I'm like, this is the wonderful thing about life. If you take the time to appreciate the wonderful, little curlicues that happen, and you see people that persevere and stay true to themselves. And I know that you had years of, I don't think this is working. I don't think anybody's buying into this. Certainly I had moments like that.
50 appearances on your show, I think, was the arc of those years.
Yeah, but it was...
You guys were keeping me afloat. I mean, it was kind of crazy. I just could not... Yeah, and I know what you're saying, and I think that there is a bit of goodwill for me, because I imagine people aren't always thinking about me, but I imagine there was a period there when my name would come up and then be like, "Yeah, I hope it works out for him."
Well, I think the nice thing is I have a lot of appreciation now. It's nice to see, and I guess I'll say this in a shorter way. Getting older is treated negatively by a lot of people. They don't want to get older. They hate. And I think not only am I chilling out just a little bit, but when you can see the whole picture, or 2/3, I hope, of the picture, it's really great because you can appreciate, we just had Bob Odenkirk on, and I was with Bob in the trenches in 1988.
Yeah.
And we were very lowest, rung on the totem pole at Saturday Night Live, and now he's beating people up in action movies, and I'm like,
that's crazy.
And I think this is the same thing, which is it's really, I so enjoy watching people that I connected with, who I like, having these. I mean, you've did it yourself, you willed it to happen. We all know some luck's involved. I've benefited from crazy amounts of luck, but to watch all that happen for you. And is a beautiful thing.
Well, thank you.
And that's why I said, I grabbed Mark against his will. I know he's got a lot going on today, but make him talk to me so I can just tell him how much I appreciate you invented this form. You did such a lovely thing for all of us. It's a mitzvah, as the Irish say. I thank you for it. And I thank you for being out there with me in the early days of late night.
Well,
when it was rough sledding,
yeah.
And I knew this is going to be a roller coaster ride, but Mark Maron's going to make it happen. And you always did.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to hear that. And certainly you were definitely a big part of my life for a lot of years, doing that show, 3 or 4 times a year.
3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah. But it made a big
Once
difference.
again, Mark Maron. Wait, he was on earlier in the show.
No, but it was like I didn't have a lot going on then.
I know,
so
and now
I
just talked to you in the hallway and I said, can I talk to you for just a second? You went, yeah. There's a documentary about me. There's also a Broadway show about my life, and then I have to go get an International Peace Prize. And I'm like, okay, I will not stop you.
Yeah,
but
they canceled my Mark Twain thing. So
yeah.
I want to.
It's going to a ventriloquist next year.
I wanted to share this with you with Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah,
because he had a heart attack in Albuquerque, which is where I grew up. And I texted him, afterwards. And we actually had lunch when he was out there, when he was shooting Better Call Saul. And because he went to the hospital where my dad used to work. But I was texting with him, and he said, he was so funny. I said, glad you're okay. It's scary. It's Maron. And this is after he had the heart attack. Yeah. And he texted back, super scary, Mark. I basically died for a little while. And I have to say I saw nothing.
Yeah.
but this great crew with some amazing people kept me going. And then the hospital did a great job with some challenging surgery. I hope you're doing great. I'm feeling good. Take care. And then I said, glad my hometown hospital was there for you. Welcome back from the nothing. And then he says again, this is why he's so fucking funny. He goes, big time, excellent docs and nurses at Presbyterian, on the ball. I'm doing great. By the way, I saw exactly no light when I was.
Let me repeat.
No light when I was dead. The whole heaven thing is a hoax. Follow the money.
Follow the money. That's fantastic.
It's the best.
Well, that's people need to hear this. We need to get this word out there.
Yeah, it's so funny. Funny guys are the best. Funny people are the best, especially if you text them. Oh my God. You ever get in a group text with other funny people and you're like, I'm not going to be able to keep up with this shit.
Oh.
You're trying to what can I say that's funny? And there's already 3 texts have gone by and you're like, damn it, missed my window.
Oh, and it starts to feel pressure.
And total pressure.
Yeah.
I'm on occasionally I'm in one with Mulaney and Kroll, Dan Levy and Jeselnik and Chelsea Peretti. I'm like, I just want to be out of this. It's too much pressure.
I'm in one that has all these people in it, and I watch all these fireworks go by, and they'll also their references.
Yeah.
They'll be talking about some really incredibly obscure commercial that Telly Savalas was in 1978 for a mochaccino drink.
Yeah.
And they all know exactly all the references. And my feeling is that it's, when a blade is turning very slowly, I can put my hand on the blade and kind of get into the motion of it. But if it's spinning on puree and I put my hand in, I'm going to get chopped to pieces. And that's what it looks like. And I just watch.
Your text gets no ha-has. You have no explanation points.
You know what I've learned? Ooh. You can put your own ha-ha on your text.
You do that
David,
all
what do I
the
do?
time.
What do I do? Tell him.
He always laughs to his own text.
No, and I do it on purpose to be a dick.
Yeah.
But I'll write something to Sona or to you, and then I'll write after, and then I'll put on my thing, ha ha, and you guys are like, you can't fucking do that.
No.
And then I'll say, yes, I can, and then put a ha ha on that. What's stopping you?
Yeah,
Why
nothing.
not?
We lived through it all. The other.
Laugh at your own text, people. Ha ha yourself.
You only go around once. Follow the money.
There is no light. There's no light.
But the thing you're saying about aging is true. And I think what's a great thing for you is that to be able to loosen up and to be able to just have these conversations on your own terms and be engaged and enjoy people in that way is a great thing about life. And I think so many of us were in such a wheel of not just success, but like being funny, doing a great thing, doing a great show, that you don't have any time for this. And then as you get older, all of a sudden, you give less of a fuck.
Yes.
And it's not even on purpose. You just are able to look back at your life and not with regret, but really realizing just how crazy you made yourself for so long.
I think about this a lot.
Exhausting.
My 20s, my 30s, my 40s, and into my 50s. I would say it started to peter out, and then I just started to think. But during those years, I was so intense, so hard on myself, constantly, working real hard, tunnel vision,
Totally.
and then I credit my wife for helping me a lot, and I credit just going through life and meeting really good people. But I thought that I had just found wisdom, and I was telling this to my to my mother-in-law Pam, who's a very smart woman, and I was talking to her, and I said, as I get older, I really think I found this wisdom. And she said, your testosterone levels dropped. That's what happened. And I went, oh.
Really? I thought it was humility.
I thought it was humility, and that I thought that I had found like the true face of like spirituality, and I got into the flow. And she said, no, testosterone levels plummet in men. And so you have very little testosterone left. Your penis is just a little nub now. And so you're just.
Enjoy your downtime.
Enjoy your life as an asexual being.
Welcome.
And whatever it is, I don't think I would have appreciated this format 20s, 30s, 40s. And I think I'm so lucky that it exists now because I like to have these conversations. I couldn't have them if you hadn't invented this thing. It would not have happened. So I'm very appreciative.
Thank you.
But for years, I realized the trick in late night is to try and it took me a long time to figure out, how do I appear relaxed and casual in a completely insane environment?
Well,
this is a sane environment. You and I are sitting with each other. We're talking. There's going to be a weird desk with a microphone. What am I?
And also, like 80% of your energy goes into pretending you're not terrified.
Yeah, and
that eventually you're not afraid anymore, and you're like, well, that's done.
Also, who ends a conversation and says, "Hey, Mark, it was great catching up with you. That was a terrific 4.5 minutes. We'll take a break. Cab Calloway's here when we get back." And I lean over, and you say, "How was that?" And I went, "I think you really killed it." And people say, "What do you guys talk about in the break?" Really, not much, but. That's an insane. Who walks out and addresses a crowd and talks about the day's news?
Crazy.
It's such a kooky thing to do, and the only way to be good at it is to metabolize it as something normal, and then start acting like this is all normal.
Well, it's a job. And one time when the first time I did stand up on Letterman, and I didn't even get any desk time, but I did walk over there, and he goes to break, and he leans in and goes, "You can make that stuff work on the road." I do have to go. I got to go to Tribeca.
Yeah, you got to go. And you know what? You've always had to go to Tribeca. Mark Maron, thank you.
Thank you.
This was lovely. And whatever you do, I'm in your corner.
I appreciate that. Well, I will say this. I do have I'm on this show Stick.
Yep.
With Owen. And I got
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I got an HBO special coming out later in the summer on HBO that I can't tell the title of yet. I know what it is,
right.
but look for that. And that's what's going on.
All right, and I can never have you back. You understand that?
I knew that. I'm surprised this happened.
This isn't going to air.
Ugh.
And when I say
but
air,
I appreciate all the nice things you said.
Yeah, I meant all of it, and
Thanks,
I'll
buddy.
see you again. We'll do this again.
Okay.
And congratulations.
Thanks, buddy.
Now, we're in an interesting time as we record this because the writer's strike is going. And
Money. Let's talk about it.
Well, wow, you really lit up.
Right? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, people are fighting over money and all kinds of stuff. And so, but one of the things about the writer's strike is that there's this rule that and we all want to do the right thing, that podcasts, can't promote certain projects, but I am allowed to talk about books that I love that people have written. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because you've written a book, Sure, I'll Join Your Cult, and which is a fantastic title. Sure, I'll Join Your Cult by Maria Bamford. And you are adored. You are a beloved stand-up comic. And you wrote a fantastic book. And I just wanted to start off by saying congratulations. And to everyone listening right now, go get this book. It's fantastic. And there's so much to talk about here because your whole career has been, you are so open about what you've been through. And man, you've been through a lot.
Listen, I like to, monetize I like telling everybody everything, and it turns out that's a cash cow. So
were you going to say monetize your pain? That's
or just like, have you ever read the book The Giving Tree?
Yeah.
Where, which I'm trying to rewrite it as The Giving Condo. But all there was the shade of the condo. And you can lay in the shade. You can't come in because you sold it to Russia. But The Giving Tree, the premise is the tree gives everything until finally all there is a stump for the little boy to sit on, who is now an old man. Mm-hmm. And I have nothing left to give except, stories. I like open book accounting. That's one of my last things I have to give. I'm a multimillionaire. I am worth $3.5 million in assets. So that's multi. And, so I feel like, and my dad passed away, which means he was a physician. I am white. It was generational wealth. So I'm doing okay over here. And I think the one thing I have to give is full open book accounting. Yeah.
Full disclosure.
Yeah, because I love companies that do that. Chobani Yogurt, where they taught everybody in the company, got to take accounting classes, and then find out what everything in the yearly report means. So there's actually some way you can argue for a raise, or to go, oh, that's why I'm paid that amount.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Listen, I go a different route than Chobani. See, I go more of a, I don't know, let's say Vladimir Putin route.
Yeah.
It's no one's business how much wealth there is in the walls of the Kremlin.
No mysteries.
If people ask any questions, they just go away.
Yes, there's a lot of poison in the muffins.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Gorley, have a muffin.
Wipe my doorknobs before I use them.
And I put that in the book, like I put in a financial bit of because I find that stuff fascinating, and not because I know anything. Like I don't know anything about money, nor do I know if I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing. But it is such an emotional topic.
Yep.
I find it. People get so mad or so embarrassed or so ashamed, including myself. Like every time I see my accountant, I'm just like, it doesn't matter what they're saying. Oh, you earn the same amount. Oh, how dare you? It doesn't. Yeah, it's the emotions don't match the numerics.
It's interesting. It flips. It can flip so quickly from the flip between gratitude that you have something and rage that you don't have more of that thing is so instantaneous, and it's such a human thing.
Yeah, or somebody asking, have you ever been asked to do something for free?
Oh, yeah.
Which sometimes, if I think, like sometimes, let's say, and this is a current shtick I'm working on, but Grimace, who I know Grimace, it doesn't even matter who the person is, but sometimes you get a text from a famous person at around midnight on a Saturday night who says, in sort of a business, you up? And let's just say it was Grimace, which is the liminal space between the Hamburglar and Mayor McCheese.
Yeah, I remember Grimace. He was
lovable.
Wasn't he was the
big purple guy.
Purple Mountain.
Yeah, purple, but didn't he represent the shakes, the milkshakes?
Well, didn't they just put out a Grimace shake in commemoration
he's
of his
having a
birthday
moment.
or something?
Yeah.
No, he's definitely doing well.
Grimace is finally having his moment.
Yeah, and I love Grimace.
Yeah.
But then Grimace said, hey, do you want to work on this thing tomorrow? And
wait a minute, Grimace, the character from McDonald's?
It's a placeholder.
It's a placeholder for someone I know.
Vladimir Putin.
Oh, I
Let's
see.
just say it's Vladimir
I
Putin.
see.
Okay.
You
And-
could have just said someone I know. Why are we talking about Grimace?
Because it has to have the weight and
Yes.
the celebrity and the authority
Yes. Got
and
it.
the fear involved,
Right.
the anxiety involved of meeting someone as powerful as Grimace face to face in your own living room.
Yes.
Like there's some sort of like your
Got
knees
it.
shake a little bit.
Okay. I also, the minute you said Grimace, I know what celebrity you're talking about. But go ahead.
So I texted all my friends in Debtors Anonymous, which is a 12-step program, which is a lot like Tony Robbins, if Tony Robbins was a small, it was about 4'9", and talk like this. Anyways, but and I said, you know what? I really want to get paid for this, and so I asked Grimace for about $800, and $300 was to pay the venue that he wanted to use in my neighborhood. $100 would be the tips for the barista to keep it quiet. $100 for the person who we were going to commandeer into doing something with us, and then $300 for myself because I have an addiction to clogs. Anyways,
This all sounds, by the way, this all sounds very reasonable.
reasonable.
Yeah.
So now Grimace, who I adore, I think the way he paid out the money was in hundreds in a very slow fashion.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah, in a way that suggested he did not have the money. And I know that's not true. Can't possibly be true.
No, Grimace. I mean, all that money from the shakes and.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not Grimace, but yeah.
No, of
Grimace
course.
is on Cameo. He's got to be rolled right in.
Billions served.
Yeah.
Right? So it's that kind of thing where I think I need to have empathy for Grimace because obviously they're hurt. Like they're hurt by me asking for money.
No.
Like there's something offensive in me asking for money. And then, and also it's just interesting
Was
whether or not it means
was it
anything.
for a charitable event?
No.
Oh, okay. That's so different.
Oh, wow.
I do a lot of things, and I don't want to, shoot my own horn, but I give and give and give.
Yeah.
So many charitable causes, but that I get. I understand. Sure, I'll show up and do the thing.
And here's my argument with charity gigs. I am often asked by a fan, the people they're trying to get money from are not fans. They are very wealthy people in Napa Valley or somewhere where I recently did a benefit and bombed so hard because people in Napa Valley, they've had some wine. They don't want to hear about schizophrenia research and my chunk on suicidal ideation. They would like to have Howie Mandel come up as soon as possible. And that's why I refuse to do benefits because I just think I'm hurting people.
I
at
got
this
to a
point.
point, and there's no way around it, but tell me if you agree, performing for people who are eating.
No.
That's just this thing that when I hear chewing and I hear silverware and gulping when I'm trying to tell a joke that I sweated over, I'm very unhappy. Thanks a lot, Gordon. Gurley's also eating a massive cobbler right now with a big wooden spoon.
Yeah, it feels sad. And if there's, I don't know, if some people are enjoying themselves, for me, I feel like it's like a gig where it's like combat duty where I'm like taking a bullet
Yeah, you are.
for somebody. And so it's like, it's unnecessary and everybody's suffering.
There was something that popped in your book that was so, because everybody, I've talked to so many comedians whether on late night, but especially on this show, and they talk about these early jobs they've had. And people have had some really crazy jobs, but you had one that you talk about in the book where it's early, you're trying to get into show business, it hasn't quite gelled in stand-up yet, and you get this gig doing some kind of a Star Trek show.
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine, but it's a live show that you did at a mall?
Yes.
What?
And, okay.
Paramount had a subsidiary named Paramount Parks, so I'm sure has been dissolved, and a man named Stan ran it. And
It's always a Stan.
Stan would tell us about fantastic new gigs. We're doing a Jack in the Box promotion. Do you and a Klingon want to go out? And we'd drive out to Pomona and stand around saying things like, "Greetings, I'm Major Lelanka of the planet Bajor," and get the fuck away from me.
So you had to memorize.
All right.
You had to memorize all this stuff.
Well, can sometimes be half-assed when it comes to certain jobs. So stand-up I really care about, but that one I know I could have gone deep into the Bajoran history and Star Trek itself. I did not.
You didn't do
Were
it.
you in makeup and stuff too?
Oh, yes.
Because I don't know.
Full
what that is.
costume.
This is my genetic makeup. Do you speak of spirit gum?
Oh, so you had to,
No.
if any kid
Oh,
said
my
to you,
God.
hey, nice mask, you'd have to say, mask? Of
Yes.
what do you speak, earth creature? That kind of stuff?
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, that's what I did. No one told
Did
me
you
to do it.
Did you go,
Wow.
did you
Just
go
a
off?
natural bleed.
Natural gift.
And what is the, and you go, in the book, you talk about going off script a bit.
Yeah,
with-
yeah.
Which was really funny.
Well, because I did read a little bit about the Bajorans, and it turned out they were kind of what I felt like it was sort of the World War II Jewish experience
Mhm.
of that realm.
Mhm.
And so,
And this is
my-
sci-fi.
yeah.
It's not real, but you decided to go deep into that and then bring that to the mall and tell kids about it. Is that
my
correct?
parents, the last I saw from them, I was in the attic of my parents' house. Yes, we had houses! We were not animals. Oh, you have a wrinkly face. We are not so different, you and I. And I was playing with my paper dolls. And yet all I have left is my parents is this bloody paper doll. I heard their screams.
You were saying this to kids at a mall.
listen,
Hey, lady, I just want some Jollibee.
Yeah.
yeah. I got a 45-minute shift. I got to keep their attention. We're in the food
Oh, that would
court.
have my attention. Our whole race was destroyed.
Oh, you think I should be with a Ferengi? Oh, because you'd like to see what would come out from us. What child we would have.
Hey, Sona, think of all the amazing things in life that are expressions of just you.
Yeah.
I mean, like the chocolate that you had on your face when you came in because you just ate that. What was it you were eating?
I was eating a giant cookie.
Giant cookie.
Yeah.
And that's so Sona.
Okay.
Or that song you stream over and over again that's
Yeah.
just so you. What's that song for you?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Yeah.
But it's for my boys, not
I know.
me.
Still, it's nice.
Okay.
Or, you know, that podcast, that comedy podcast you just got to listen to.
Yeah. Conan O'Brien needs a friend.
Exactly. Is that what you listen to in your spare time?
Yeah.
I love it. Everything that makes you makes all the difference. State Farm believes insurance should work the same way. Your plan, your coverage selections can be personalized by you and only you.
Cool.
I shouldn't shout, but this is how strongly I feel about
You
it.
got so aggressive.
The ability to choose the plan you want by picking the options that fit you, like choosing to bundle your home and auto policies, is what the State Farm Personal Price Plan is all about. Getting the coverage you want at an affordable price just for you. Call or go to statefarm.com today to create your State Farm Personal Price Plan. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customers. Availability and eligibility may vary. Think of all the emotional damage you did. Think of all the kids out there right now that are going to be stand-ups and write books like yours because they went to the mall one day. Oh, there's a fun alien. How dare you look at me? I was molested by a Grogar. 9 tentacles it was.
Yes. Even though I felt a little pleasure, that pleasure.
Oh, wait a minute.
it
What?
is- well,
You kind of liked it
the
somewhat?
confusion of the trauma is that you can't feel the shame of pleasure.
We've got to get this to the Star Trek people.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. This is very good stuff.
No, but I want to acknowledge that the Star Trek it is a real world, and I did not mean to poop on it.
Well, I don't think you did.
Hey, okay.
I think you
It's
created.
not like when you do a show, you have to acknowledge the native land that you're on.
Yeah.
It's fair game.
No,
Star
you do with
Trek, I
Star
think.
Trek, too.
You
You,
do.
need to acknowledge this was all taken from Gene Roddenberry. You are constantly, I mean, just now you're talking, you're analyzing society, but also yourself, but also what does money mean? There's so much that you're thinking about all the time, and it all goes back to this, I wouldn't even say compulsion,
Yes.
to think and consider everything.
Yes.
And you talk a lot about OCD and how you've been battling OCD really your entire life.
Yeah, I mean, now it's not so bad because, once you find out what the thing is, you go to it and then they go, oh, that's just that. And you go, oh.
Once you put a name on it.
Yeah, once you put a
you
name
take
on
away
it.
its power.
Yeah. So, I have intrusive OCDs, which usually are taboo thoughts. So whatever is taboo in your society,
When you were a kid,
Yeah.
you told your mother,
Yes.
because it's in the book, you told your mother that you had these thoughts of harming the family.
Yes.
And she said,
Honey, it's okay if you're gay.
All right. Well, now you just added a whole new set of.
Yep, that's how a gay person comes out. I'm thinking of murdering the family.
Yeah, and somehow being homosexual was worse in the 80s than being a serial killer.
Right. Why can't you be more like Ted Bundy? He's heterosexual. Now,
You at least like the ladies.
you say that your mom, because you talk a lot about your mom, and you talk about how she was kind of, you think, one of the catalysts or one of the maybe moving forces behind you getting into show business.
Totally.
Why?
My
How?
mom, she loves things that are shiny, but she also, and this is something I realized after she passed, I always thought she had like style, like she knew what was the best thing. And now I realize, she just chose to see everything she got as the best. So
Yes.
This microphone is just darling. No, you can tell it's quality. It's made, it's handcrafted by someone in the water. Oh, I love it, Conan. I love it. I'm a lucky kitty.
But that's actually a lovely quality.
Yes. And
So how does that translate into you wanting to go into show business?
well, because she was often distracted, which I think may have been a result of not getting enough calories. But always sort of like it needed to have some shine on it. So my sister became a physician. That seemed to get her enough attention. Like, oh, well, my older daughter is a doctor, and she has 4 children with her husband, Mark. And then it was sort of me on my end. It was quiet for a number of years.
Well, Maria's just figuring it out. She's just figuring it out.
But like, oh my God, as soon as, she has been, the first TV spot I got was on your show,
That's in 1999, I
yes,
think. Yeah,
She
you came
is
on late night.
Conan. She's on television. Like, she would just light up about, consumer or anything with she loves status.
And I've talked about this, I think, before on the podcast, but I have this picture on my desk that someone took when I was at an event. It was my parents. It's probably like 15 years ago. And it's both of my parents laughing really hard because I'm on stage in the picture. I'm not in the picture. It's just both my parents laughing really hard. And I asked, someone showed me that picture and I said, could I have that? And I framed it and I keep it on my desk because if anyone ever needs the reason why, and it's very primal, but it is, see those 2 people that made me laughing? That's why. That's why.
That's the whole thing.
And as you know, I'm wondering if it's, in your book, you make it clear that when you get up on stage and you get that kind of approval and laughter, it does resonate because you've felt it before. It's when you were a kid and your parents were going, yay.
Hey, get on the box for Papa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same dopamine hit.
Oh, it's just delightful. I don't know if anybody's heard of Suzuki violin, or it's a way people teach their kids music, and it came out of Japan, and it all is all about, if you teach a kid early enough, they can do anything. So you start at 2 years old, you will have a weirdly, talented whatever it is.
Very unhappy.
Yeah. Perhaps unhappy, dependent on
malformed hands.
But you can, kids can do anything.
So, and you talk about this in the book because you did Suzuki violin. What age did you start?
3.
Now, whose idea was it? Your mommy or dad?
Well, they said, honey, you can do dance or violin. And I didn't really know what either of those were.
Yeah, you're 3.
I was 3, so I said, why not the V sound? And then started doing that. No, what little did I know, what she said, which I didn't understand that either. She said, you cannot quit until you're 12 years old. And I didn't understand time and how that worked. But yeah, I mean, the great thing about that, it kept me off the pipe, off the pole. And also,
Actually, it's something you could use on the pole.
yeah.
Yeah, and also something you should start at 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to get really good.
Yeah.
I mean,
You want to work out those muscles on the pole.
but yeah, I mean, kids are incredibly malleable, and if you look as a parent that you're pleased at the actions that they're performing, whether that's factory work in a chicken parts situation, or you will do it. You will continue to do it and get better.
How
at
good
it.
did you get at piano using this method?
Piano,
violin.
Yeah, I mean,
It'd be funny if you got really good at the piano.
that'd be very strange. Weirdly good, where you go, oh, wow, that's crazy. Where I think I got to book 8 out of 10, and I went to the Interlochen Music Camp, International Music Camp.
Did it give you any joy?
Not really. I did not enjoy it. The part I liked was getting up on stage. I liked that part. And then I kind of like the feel of victory. Like if I whooped somebody, like if somebody didn't do well and then I did well, which is monstrous. And yeah, but I what I liked more was getting laughs and stuff, because I did some theater and stuff as a kid and speeches.
Yeah. When I went to Catholic, the whole Catholic rigmarole, which is that's how the Vatican likes you to refer to it now. And St. Lawrence Church, Brookline, Massachusetts. And early on, they just noticed that this kid enunciates and he seems to clean up okay. You be the one that reads the little passages, from the New Testament.
Nice.
So I was a kid and I had that experience of I'd get up in front of the congregation and I would read, and Luke said to the Corinthians, what saith you on that day, Jesus? And I would read those and I remembered this material's no good. Like,
Yeah,
this
it's not
material's
good.
like, there's not, it really, I mean,
No.
I'm sorry, it's not funny.
No.
This material doesn't have the goods. And I could sense sometimes like, oh, this is a good crowd, because I'd hear the priest before me, Father Dwyer would get some laughs. And I'd be up there with my Corinthians and I saith to you, and then the palms were cut down in the sheaves. And I'm thinking, no, this isn't the right material, but okay.
Church was my first time seeing stand-up. I got to see a white guy have a hot take on a weird story. Church is very much like a public speaking.
It's the
gig.
first thing, yeah. And so that was where I got like a little taste
Yeah,
of what it could be.
could be good.
Yeah. And so I understand that idea of, okay, you're on stage with a violin and you're quickly realizing, I don't really want the violin up here with me.
Well, and I did that at first because I thought, well, at least I can kind of make people happy with this, because I didn't really want to bomb. But people will be acceptable or accept that I'm good at something, and then I can hit them with my ideas. And nobody wanted that. And but then I moved to Los Angeles. There were 2 other comedians who are female doing acts with violins. And so I said to myself, I think I can kick this to the curb now.
So you've been diagnosed with bipolar 2.
Yes, which is that's the easier sort of bipolar from what I've heard.
So you've had a competitive conversation with someone who's bipolar 1.
Yes.
Oh, bipolar 2. Well, that must be a nice holiday.
So you've never had psychosis.
I was told to murder by my dog.
Yeah.
So, and you've been in several psych wards. You talk about that in the book?
Just 2 different ones. Glendale Adventist Psychiatric Medical Center. I was in Psych West. And then I was at the Las Encinas, still in business. Do not recommend it.
You just gave them a bad Yelp review.
Well, no. I never give bad reviews.
Okay.
I always feel like
Well, you just
everyone's having
did.
a hard enough time.
Okay.
Here's the thing. The psychiatrist there, who has since retired, when I went in, I got to see a psychiatrist, which is amazing. And he not only, he Googled me during the session, but then played some of my act back to me and said, oh, you're pretty funny. Unless I say I'm Richard Pryor, and wait until I've left. If I'm having some sort of experience where I think I'm somebody else, just assume maybe she's a comedian. Like maybe she
Right.
is. Like, because I think I said I was a comedian, which is always a terrible idea to say in a hospital circumstance. But
Isn't the first thing you get, tell me a joke?
yes,
Yes.
or where have I seen you, or and all jobs have that sort of thing. I know I've heard people say if I'm an administrative assistant. Oh. Like, sometimes you don't get any questions
Right.
and you have a lot to say.
So when you go to these places and you're in that state, are you ever thinking about comedy or looking around and thinking,
No.
no?
I mean, if you're having a emergency event for any sort of, whether that's a physical or a mental issue, you're not. No.
You're in a completely altered state.
Yeah, just no. I wanted to die. I was not feeling good. Yeah, so no, it's like something's broken, or you don't go. This pain. I know. Somebody take notes on this. I mean, maybe you are.
I worry that I would, but I'm deeply like, how could I use this? But the pain you're describing, to be honest with you, is a pain I have not felt.
Right,
So
yeah.
I cannot relate.
Yeah, I hadn't felt that either. I don't think I had felt that. Of just like your brain. I wasn't there. And that feeling of like, there's no me here, and I just did not, like, every moment was excruciating. I was so grateful when they came around with the meds. I was just like, oh my God, knock me out with a hammer. And they don't do that anymore. That was the 60s. But
that ended with the Three Stooges.
But that was really nice. Like Jonathan Winters, I got to talk to him.
Jonathan Winters, obviously, and we have younger listeners, but Jonathan Winters was, if you asked anybody from about, I want to say 1958, for decades after that, who's the funniest person in the world? I think maybe 7 out of 10 times you might hear Jonathan Winters. He was absolutely hilarious. He'd go on The Tonight Show. He was in movies. He was so funny, take the air out of the room. And he had, what a lot of people didn't know is that he had, I think, flown bombing missions in World War II and had seen a lot of horrible things, and then had terrible problems with depression, and I think had to, either go away or be taken away at times. So he was someone who I that's so cool. I mean, I never got the chance to meet Jonathan Winters. Which is a regret of mine. I saw him in a hotel lobby once, and I was too intimidated to go up to him. And this is when I was on TV, but I just thought, well, he doesn't want to talk to me. But I wish I had talked to him.
Yes.
But he was someone who, like you, really knew, a comedian who was breathtakingly funny, but also knew this crazy deep pain.
He had I think, a few psychotic episodes, and in the 60s, I think they would just, everyone was just, there was just a big jar of Valium, and then they'd just numb you out, and he was there for months. But my friend, I have a friend who's friends of his, and I was so out of it. I was just like, he's like, I'm calling Jonathan. He'll tell you it's going to be okay. And I'm like, okay, oh God. I could barely talk, but he was like, oh, you have a good shrink. I said, well, yeah. I said, well, just keep going. All I can do is keep going, which is really the only advice anyone can give you at
It's
any
also
time
that
in life.
generation, Depression era, World War II,
Yeah, just keep
fighter
going.
pilot,
Yeah.
keep going.
Just
Which sometimes is the right advice to get. Like, pull yourself together and keep going.
Well, and I think that the experience of like a suicidal depression really has given me empathy for people in my life who have committed suicide. I think there's tremendous guilt, but also sometimes people are angry at people who committed suicide, and that you just don't know the level of suffering someone has experienced, and Anyways, I don't know why I'm laughing. That's inappropriate.
That makes you kind of a monster, I think.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
Ouch is not the appropriate response to me calling you a monster. Hitler, you're a monster. Ouch. Stalin, you're Satan. Ow.
Oh,
Well,
hey-o.
that stung. Ooh.
Spicy.
If you've played the game, an NFL player at your level, do you watch the game? Is it different for you to watch the game than it is for an average fan? How does someone who's been there watch the game?
I mean, realistically, it just probably depends on what type of level of intoxication I'm at.
Okay.
By
the way, Marshawn, this is an intervention. This isn't a. These people here, they're not here to see the podcast. We all love you, and we're here for you, and we want the old Marshawn back.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait a minute. This is the old Marshawn.
Yeah, man, just older.
You probably know when someone gets hit, man, that one hurt.
Hell yeah, most definitely. And it's usually the ones you don't see. But I don't know, when you get them piles, that's usually the ones that really fuck you up. Because then you got to think you got maybe 1,000 pounds worth of people on top of you. And then, you know, depending on how strong and what they really doing, that adds another couple pounds and punches and eye gouges.
So that is happening because that's another thing. I'm just fascinated to hear about this. But when you were at the bottom of that pile, and man, you were on the, when they finally could catch you, there'd be 30 guys on top of you, and sometimes they just start to build a house on top of that.
Man.
Like they're like, let's build a 7-Eleven here while we're at it.
Right here.
And you're at the bottom. What are they doing to you? Are they really punching you and stuff?
I mean, there's a lot of shit going on down there.
Are people saying stuff?
A lot of talking, all kind of shit be going on in there. It's like a little community down there. It's all type of shit going on.
That's fascinating to me.
I think I even bust a couple knocks down at the bottom of the pile a couple times, but it's just all kind of shit.
And people were talking to each other and saying stuff?
Yeah, like, what's up, bro? What we doing after the, you feel me, after the situation? Are we getting out? Oh, yeah, all right, I'll meet you over there. Or, hey, man.
I like that big pile. The refs are trying to separate you guys, but while you're in there, you're talking about I found a really good sleepy time tea. I found one that just knocks me out. It's really good.
Yeah, AKA Hennessy, if that's what you call your sleepy time tea.
Okay, I'll plug.
Hey, we going to go get some shots after this? Yeah, bro. But get your ass off me, motherfucker. And then, a lot of them, a lot of us be having close relationships too. So, hey, man, tell your cousin when I come back in town, I'ma holler at him. You feel me? Hey, make sure the kids know I said what's up. You feel me? Or tell moms I said what's good, bro. You feel me? All right, I'ma holler at you in a minute, boy. She at the game. She gonna be in the back. All right, I'ma pull up over there. It's all kind of shit.
This is all happening while you're piled on top of each other. That's fantastic. This episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend is sponsored by Macy's.
Let's introduce the man of the hour, Mr. Conan O'Brien.
Hey, how are you? Wow. Well, that woo was sad. No, that was too much. You got to try and get it a little bit in the middle. Not there. Let's stop with the woos. This is the smallest crowd I've ever played. But I know there are people. Oh, there you are. Good. Hi. Nice to see you. You're behind glass. This is like they're testing a product, and these are people watching. Blay, you introduced me. I didn't know I was being introduced. I was as far away from you. There's a hallway outside here at SXM that goes, it's like 150 yards, and I was way down there talking to our guest when I heard, Conan O'Brien! So I ran like a madman to get here, and that's why I've had a heart attack. Now listen. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful show. Thank you for being here. How did you all get here, by the way? Love the shirt. Don't wear it in the rain. How did you all get here? Did you apply? What happened? Are you contest losers? What happened? Yes.
Team Kobo winner from Instagram.
Hey, nice. All right. And I know we hid a ticket somewhere. I don't know where that... What happened? So tell me how you found that ticket. I did a thing where I said we were going to hide this ticket outside Macy's. Were you watching?
Yeah, I saw it about 20 minutes later, and I knew exactly where it was because I worked a couple blocks away.
Okay. And so this is the biggest moment of your life. There will never be anything. You'll have children. You'll probably become president. But this is the biggest moment of your life.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah. Starting right now, you're going to hate the interview. You're going to loathe it. I can't talk to these people because they're in the witness protection program behind glass. And I think there are people listening elsewhere, but it's really wonderful to be here I call it Sirius XM. That's my little nickname for it. I love coming to New York. I've been having a wonderful time, and I want to bring out a good friend of mine. He's grew up in a cornfield in southern Illinois, and this is his first time in the big city. And I'm not kidding. He got scared when we got into an elevator yesterday. I told him, relax, it's a magic room. Let's bring him out here. David Hopping. David!
A magic room.
David, you are from, tell us where you're from.
I'm
Carlinville?
from Carlinville, Illinois. It's near Springfield.
Okay, and it's a town of like 11 people.
Like 5,000.
About 11.
6,000.
And
yeah.
what's that?
You guys can sit in the chairs.
Why would we
Oh.
sit?
Well, I'm just saying it's the intro segment for the podcast.
Who are
could
you?
I'm saying you could stand also, but there's some nice
What do you wanna
comfy
do?
chairs there.
Okay,
Why
you're
don't you
right.
sit
There's
down?
some comfortable chairs here.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we sit? There's a good
Why wouldn't
sitting
you sit?
energy.
Yeah, there's mics there. Yeah.
Okay,
perfect.
these mics work. Okay. It's nice of you to come. David, we've been here about 3 days, and you've seen 15 Broadway shows.
Yes. I've seen 3 so far, and then I'm seeing 1 on Saturday.
Yes, yeah.
And it's great.
I mean, when you were growing up in this
Okay.
tiny, tiny town where there's just corn. I mean,
yeah,
corn is every...
There is a lot of corn.
Yeah, there's a lot of corn, and you didn't have a television. There was no
had a-
heat, and you grew up. I think you were a scarecrow for a while. I'm curious.
Okay.
And then you come to this city
Yeah.
with Conan O'Brien,
The only time I've ever been to this city is with you.
and you walk around with me,
I do.
and your job is to tell people, "Hey, look, it's Conan O'Brien."
He's so needy.
They don't seem to recognize me. You're very good at that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you hand out.
Someone has to do it.
Yeah, he hands out my bio explaining it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, The Simpsons.
Yeah,
well, I
scan
like
this
that.
QR code.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're having a good time.
I am.
Because that's really your job, is to have a good time.
The last time we were here, we spent Valentine's Day at a really nice restaurant.
sent my wife a picture because we were here for work, and I sent my wife a picture of David and I at a romantic restaurant. And I said, no, don't be sad. It was a lovely evening. I got you a rose. Remember that?
You were maybe going to have a friend visit, so we had like a third place set up, and then finally the waiter just came and slowly just took it away.
It was tragically sad, but I had a good time.
Yeah.
You're a good friend.
Thank you.
You're my paid friend. You're an assistant.
Yes.
And this is fun. It's really fun to be here. There's
Yeah.
an energy in New York.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I think it makes us better versions of ourselves.
We are better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were nice. I've been to a couple of Broadway shows already. It's been wonderful.
Your wife's been to a lot too.
Anything to get away from me. She goes without me. She brings a handsome guy with her. Well, I think we should probably. What should we do? Should we bring out our guest now, Blay? You're in charge of this.
You're the boss. If you want to bring out the guest, we got a great guest. So
You're holding the mic kind of close to your mouth in a weird way.
I don't really know how these work.
Yeah,
I've
I
only
know.
seen kind of
I love
American
that
Idol.
Everyone
where
I'm
they
talking to so far is not a professional. You came to Conoco to install air conditioning.
That's right. Yes.
And then we just gave you a mic and we let you go. And I don't even remember how we found you.
I just walked in one day.
We have no security at Team Coco.
I think he's our security. David is our security.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
threatening everybody.
Very intimidating. Yeah, exactly. You tell people, leave Conan alone or I'll take you to the Broadway show Smash.
Yeah, I went to see Smash. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you see 2 shows last
I did
night?
a double feature last night. I saw Oh Mary and Sunset Boulevard. Oh, a gasp.
Oh, Mary's fantastic.
It's like hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfection.
I loved every second.
Perfection. Well, not every second. There's one second I don't like.
No, I love everyone.
We are blessed. I mean, I'm going to introduce our guest, who's a mystery. Your legs. There's a woman right here whose legs are going like
She's
jackhammers.
excited. She's happy
Are you
to be
about
here.
to pounce? What are you going to do? You're going to charge? Anytime. Anytime.
Our security is right here. He
Yeah,
can
no,
stop you.
that's my security.
Yeah, come on up.
And if you're free on Valentine's Day, let me know. And we will.
What an interesting thing to say.
I have this. I introduce guests, and sometimes I say, "Oh, I really love this person," and I really don't. But this person is one of my favorite people of all time, has been since I was a young man. He's much older than me. But I'm just, he's, and this card says, my good friend, he is a good friend, and a hilarious comedian. And I think, no, that doesn't do it. He's, I believe, the funniest person I've ever met. And I've met everybody. And he's also one of the loveliest people I've ever met. And I am absolutely over the top, crazily thrilled that he's here with us. My guest today is all those things, and he stars on the hit Hulu series Only Murders in the Building. I'm excited he's here. Marty Short!
Oh my
Sorry
God.
to disappoint.
Hi, I'm Martin Short, and I feel duped being Conan O'Brien's friend. I love this man.
Marty, I have to tell you, this woman right here, she did this. I'm going to recreate what she just did. She went, oh my God! She's losing it right now.
Oh no, it's just me. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, these are microphones, Marty. They go a little closer.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right.
Well, Conan, Diddy, Jeffrey Epstein O'Brien, it is a thrill to see you.
Yes, lovely to.
I can't believe it, because I would assume you'd be hopping a flight to Washington for the big parade tomorrow.
I'm a big fan. You know,
I know
wanna
you
be there
are.
to support.
It must have been so weird for you, that whole Elon Trump fight. It's like kind of your Sophie's choice. Who do you pick?
I love them both.
They're so good.
They're wonderful.
They're so wise.
I meant everything I said in my interview,
very
in my pre-interview, in my intro, if you will. And
you tell me if you'd had a stroke.
I just had one right there.
Yeah.
Massive stroke, cerebral event, I like to call it. You've just, this gentleman, I first started watching him on SCTV when I was, I want to say 14 years old, 15 years old. And you and your cohorts, and I thought, oh, I didn't think anything could be this funny. I thought funny was, and I'd been watching SNL for a couple of years when SCTV, when I saw that for the first time, and I thought, oh, this is an Oppenheimer moment for me. Like, this is a new level of funny, and I still feel that way. And you have said that SCTV, you think, is maybe, despite all of your crazy success, might be the purest reflection of your craft? You think that's it?
I think it was true, because it was so ideally done. You know, you would write for 6 weeks with people that you had known and worked with for 10 and 12 and 15 years at that point.
You guys all knew each other.
I went to university with Eugene Levy and Dave Thomas.
Right.
You know, Andrea Martin is my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
You know, there was I knew Catherine Harrison. She was 18. I first met her. And so we all loved each other. You would write for 6 weeks. You would shoot with no audience so that no one was telling you oh, I know you thought that was funny, but we're saying it's not funny. Yeah. We just went with our instinct of what was funny. And because we were on so late and we were never that big a hit, NBC really didn't care about us. So we were on it. So we didn't have
Been there, done that. But no, I know the feeling.
Well, I set you up for
I know
that.
the feeling. Yeah. Oh, and that was all you. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at how he did. He took credit, but beautiful. I know what you're talking about when the essence to me of the best comedy is when you're making yourself and your friends happy, and then other people pick up on that, and your attitude is, look, this is what we're giving you. This is what we believe in. And then my brothers and I are watching in Misquamicut, Rhode Island, at our grandfather's house on a TV that's picking up a weird station in Buffalo, off Buffalo, and we're getting it in Rhode Island, and we're religious converts to what you guys are doing, because just so many fantastic characters, and then jokes that were there for people that were paying attention. And I think now it was like comedy for the internet years and years before the internet, because you're putting a little Easter egg in there, and you guys are saying, hey, if you get this, fantastic. If you don't, you don't.
Oh, and also there were, I mean, and I can speak objectively about SCTV because I joined it late. So, I mean, they had already won Emmys by the time I joined. Mm-hmm. So when I'd see Rick Moranis do a VJ when no such thing existed,
yeah,
or comment that Michael McDonald seemed to be on every album. So you see him running from studio to studio, doing and running out of the studio. I think this is the level. Who makes these observations that I might have thought about in the best moments of my day? You know. So listen, it was just an honor and thrill. But it was. I remember one point I was doing a piece called The Nutty Lab Assistant, and the premise was that Ed Grimley took a potion and became John Cougar Mellencamp. That was. But anyway, so now
That old bit.
So now we're on stage, and I'm Grimley and John Cougar. Then he didn't have the Mellencamp. Was getting ready to replace me as I transitioned, and I saw Andrea and John Candy and Catherine, who were playing just people in the audience, laughing and laughing, and I thought, look at these people. They love each other. They've been friends. They've done Second City Stage. They know each other so well. And look where we are. And that was 1982, you know.
Yeah.
And it continues.
I was such a fan that when I was in college, I invited John Candy, it was just after, not long after Splash, to come visit the Lampoon, which is where I really got my start, come see and meet everybody and go to a dinner. And we did an event that he would be the guest at. And I spent a day with him, which was a wonderful time in my life. And then,
that was his real life.
Yeah. And then years later, I bump into a woman. She said, I'm John Candy's daughter. And I said, oh, hi. And she said, I have a picture you might want. And she had a picture that John took of me. I'm the sweetest little girl you ever saw. Wearing I put on a special jacket because I'm going to meet John Candy at the airport.
And you had the Buster Brown haircut.
Yeah.
Back then, right? Yeah.
I'm dressed as a Catholic schoolgirl. And he took a picture of me, and I thought, I don't know, it's so funny that I don't have a picture with John. I have a picture he took of me, but he was everything I wanted him to be. And that's something.
Yeah, that was his genius, that he was everything you wanted him to be. And that's why when you see, especially Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, he just breaks your heart because he was such a brilliant actor, but he was so funny and so sweet.
You know, I will also credit, I'll say this about Mr. Martin Short, that when I grew up idolizing this guy, and then I have noticed that over the years we've become friends, which has been just one of the greatest gifts of my life. He's Marty Short 24/7, and it's awful.
Gee, that sounds kind of desperate, actually, when
awful.
you put it that way.
It's terrible. He's doing Grimley, and I'm like, sit down.
Yeah.
We're at a funeral.
I was just about to say, this is my dad's funeral.
But no, you came in, and you're just you're out, and always you're one of my, I'm going to say maybe my favorite insult comic. Your insults are so.
Oh no, it's done with love.
Oh, it really isn't.
No. I mean, look. When I say you look like a 6'5" creamsicle, I mean that because you're pale. Let's face it. I mean, if you had a pimple right in your middle of your forehead, you'd look like the Japanese flag. You're like if Iceland had a face.
Okay,
okay, enough.
Are we good now?
Right. Yeah, we're done.
Are these
I had
written
that
on
I had to get out of there. You know, I didn't run this morning, so.
The biggest mistake I've made in my career was on.
I can think of some.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take it easy there. Down.
Yeah, rough.
Was one of my final late night shows, and I'll be doing it at a theater in Los Angeles a couple of years ago, I think 3 years ago, and I'm coming to rehearsal. It's a brutally hot day, and so I never wear shorts, but I thought, I'll just wear shorts at rehearsal. What does it matter? So I'm wearing shorts.
Does it matter?
What is it doesn't matter. I'm just there with whoever's the guest and and we'll just be at rehearsal and whatever we're going to do. And I'm driving in, and my mind starts to go, who is the guest today? And and then I realize it's Martin Short, and oh fuck. And
you walked in. It was like I thought I was looking at 2 rolls of paper towels. They were your legs.
Well, this is what I go, no. And I'm thinking, should I try and stop and buy pants? It's too late. I get there. Marty comes in, and like a laser beam, the first thing he does is he does maybe 10 minutes that's devastatingly hilarious about my legs. I didn't know, beef jerky came as spam, I just made that one up, but anyway, just bang, 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 bang. And my writers were crying because they love it. They never get to see anyone really, and Martin Short comes in, and it was the best treat for everybody.
Well, that is the joy when the boss is ripped to shreds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when the boss has hideous legs.
They weren't Betty Grable gams, as we used to say in the 40s.
You know a reference the kids will love.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is being filmed in black and white. You had a great honor, which is you were inducted not long ago into the Five Timers Club at Saturday Night Live.
Great honor.
And I've done one Saturday Night Live, and then Lauren said, "Okay." We saw how that goes. But that is I was in the first Five Timers Club. I was the guy who opened the door. I have one of the first lines on the first Five Timers Club where they induct Tom Hanks. And I remembered all I had to do was say, "Hello, Mr. Hanks." And I think he says, "Hello, Sean." And I'm wearing a blue blazer. And all I have to do is take a smoking jacket off of a hook, help him off with his jacket, and put the smoking jacket on. That's all I have to do. I'm very young. It's Saturday Night Live.
Oh, you're not on TV yet?
No. I'm a writer on SNL. And Jim Downey said, "Have Conan do that," because he thought I was a funny lad. And I'm there. Audience, live television, and knock, knock, knock. I open the door and I go, "Hello, Mr. Hanks," because I'm in my head saying, "Hello, Mr. Hanks. Hello, Mr. Hanks. Hello, Mr. Hanks." He comes in, he goes, "Hello, Sean." And I help him off with his jacket, and then I go to get the robe, and I'm putting the sleeve on wrong. And I've looked at it subsequently, and it's a second. It was 30 minutes to me. I couldn't get his arm through, and it was horrifying. And it was my.
Well, the same thing happened when Jimmy Fallon was trying to put the coat on me, and he couldn't get it. They finally just draped it.
Yeah, but he really fucked that up. Just inept. What are you gonna do?
I know it's true.
But
he's on NBC.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
His
show lasted.
They kept him.
Yeah.
So they were like, "This guy is good."
Yeah. Anyway,
let's not dwell on that.
No. That's a long
Or dwell
time
on
ago.
it a little more.
Well, as I said, just in the dressing room, at least you hold no bitterness toward it, so that's good.
I really don't, actually.
No, you let everything go. Yeah, that's one thing about you. You let defeats go. Go ahead.
No. In my own way, it was a wonderful thing. We're going to edit that out. No one snorts at me on my show. We have to talk about Only Murders in the Building because it is a phenomenon. And one of the things that's been lovely to see is, first of all, massive hit. And second, it's so nice that it's come so late in your life. You've got like a year or two tops.
Yeah.
I've talked to your doctor, and but no, it is such a phenomenon.
Now, what if I, just in my sleep tonight, pass away? What do you do with it? Do you leave these jokes
Conan
in?
can predict the future. That is a huge win for me.
I guess that's true.
You've got to check out Marty's last interview where Conan predicts.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, you're like the new Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Or Moo.
Nostradamus.
Yeah.
We can edit that. No, I'm going to keep that in. All my laughs will stay in. Yours will go. I do the edits myself. We're going to put.
And hopefully you do the sweetening, because I've heard your laughs.
We put crickets in on you. Yeah. And huge laughs from the 1950s on me.
No. Before I came out, I said to your producer, I thought they had an audience, but because I was hearing nothing.
It's a fantastic show. You get to work with your partner, Steve Martin. You guys are so fantastic together.
Thank you.
And the idea.
I love Steve.
Well, you say that now. At dinner tonight, it'll be a different story after a few drinks. But
You know what really bugs me about him? Is it's about him all the time. Selena Gomez, of course, just fantastic.
Mr. Short, we closed a long time ago. They're literally putting your chair on top of the table. But there's this old. It used to be a classic form in television was the double act, the two-hander. And then I think it kind of went away and you guys brought it back. And to watch you two, as funny as you are separately, to watch you two work together and switch off. When you guys hosted SNL together, I contacted you right afterwards and I said, that is the best SNL monologue I think I've ever seen.
Thank you.
It
Very
was
kind.
absolute comedy masterclass. I think you two were reading, you have an amazing bit where you say, you know.
We do each other's eulogies.
We do each other's eulogies. And I think, is it your line or Steve's, which is, wow, I thought there'd be more people here.
That was Steve's.
That's Steve's to you. And it is, first of all.
Mine is, there's so many wonderful things I could say about Steve Martin, but this hardly seems the time nor the place.
But watching you guys, and you were, one of the big thrills of my life was you once asked me to do a guest hosting thing at your live show. And I'm calling my brothers saying, I'm going to Las Vegas to be on stage at Caesar's Palace with Steve Martin and,
Martin Short.
Yeah, thank you. And they, I mean, that's what it means to me. And but I got to sit in at rehearsal and watch you two work together, and that was like everyone should see that, because I don't know anyone who, the two people who prepare more than anybody in the business are Steve Martin and Marty Short. Over the years, you did my show I think 25 times. 23 are okay, and then there's 2 that were really fun, really good. But no, you were on 25 times, and every time he did it, you would keep calling back, second producer, okay, send me the latest draft, working. And then you would come out, and it's a Swiss watch, and a lot of young people ask me, how can I avoid what you did? But no, a lot of young people ask me, what do I do? And I say, if you work hard and you really prepare, I mean, that's part of it. Clearly, you're crazy off the charts talented. But
I think that the whole approach that I've always done in every element of show business is prepare so much that no matter what happens, you can go home that night and toast yourself with a glass of champagne and say, I did everything I could. I can't help it if Conan's a stiff. I can't. But even when you're, so what I do is I over-prepare, and then I go out kind of gunning for bear, knowing, I've done everything I can do. Truthfully, the host might be off, you might hiccup, the audience might be, but there's nothing more you could have done.
Yeah.
And I even do that in movies. Sometimes you're doing a movie and you realize the director is not that great. And so what I do is I make the crew and the cast love me so that everyone loves me. And then I can go up to the director and say, can I have a freedom take? Can I have one more take? And should we give Marty a freedom take? And they all love Marty, so yes. And then I can do it faster and slower and improvise. And then I can go home and say, that moron will pick the wrong take. But I did everything I can.
This toasting yourself at night with alcohol is sad.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the first couple are sad. I think when it gets into spillage here, and no one's there,
But you did that. I saw you did it on our show. You've always left nothing to chance, and you're thinking about it. Your early Letterman appearances, your Carson appearances. I remember just how funny you were, and people who don't know think, well, it's Martin Short, so that's what happens. No, I mean, it's important that people know there's a whole architecture and a lot of work that goes into it beforehand.
Well, it is a weird thing. I remember the first time I did an important American talk show was Dave Letterman in '82. Yep. And I remember thinking, okay, what do I do here? And I thought, oh, I know what it is. You have to be on. You have to be like a charming person at a dinner party, but it's got to be 8 minutes of your best dinner party moment.
Yeah.
But you don't have the hour and a half to ramp up to that 8 minutes. So you have to figure out what those 8 minutes would be.
Yeah.
Dave was always funny because sometimes, like one time I went on and he said, tell the Tony Randall story.
Yeah.
And I said, Dave, I was on 7 weeks ago and I told the Tony Randall story. No one cares. No one's watching, he said.
Yeah.
But so sometimes you would find you would hit some of them, but at least you went out knowing, okay, I can relax because I'm prepared.
Also, when you prepare like that, you're available to play in the moment.
Absolutely.
If something,
You're confident.
I always think if I want to prepare, and then get out there, and if I've thrown it all away because I get out there and something happens that I wasn't expecting, that's even better.
Absolutely.
If you haven't used that stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, with certain hosts, with you, I had to prepare every second because I knew I wasn't going to get much. But no, we had great times, you and I. There's a best of me and Conan, I think, on the internet that is just fantastic.
There is a mashup. Some fan did a mashup of all of Marty's appearances, and you want to see a master at work. It's mostly insulting me, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. And then you told me once that you were on the internet, and one of the comments was, does Marty Short realize that Conan's 6'4" and can kick the shit out of him?
That's right, yeah. Well, what happens when you do talk shows, and then, I'm not on social media, but I will go to YouTube to look at the last appearance just to see, oh, they didn't use that joke. Oh, God, I can use that joke. But you're seduced by the comments. And there's always, that thing of, oh, he's fun. Oh, I like him. I have been bored by that guy from day one. And then one of them was, Conan, he attacks Conan. If Conan wanted to, he could take him apart.
Like, I'm not, that as if you say these insults to me and afterwards, I'm like, I've got to get Martin Short. He'll pay. Only one of the things that's so fun about Only Murders in the Building is you don't need them because you've got this amazing nuclear core of you, Steve, and Selena, and it's just wonderful. But then you have guest stars.
Yeah.
And you can have whoever you want. And you're getting the cream of the crop. And it's an honor.
At one point I looked over, we were shooting something, and there were chairs, we're in a holding area. And I looked, and there was Meryl Streep, and there was Christoph Waltz, and there was Renee Zellweger, and there was Diane Wiest. And I was starting to count the Oscars. And it was 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. It was insane.
Yeah, I have a Writers Guild.
You have an ACE?
I have a Cable ACE Award.
Yeah.
Writers Guild nomination.
Yeah.
But do you have, you've had everyone on. Who's on the wish list because you just wrapped, I believe, season 5.
Yeah, that's correct.
And
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
And do you have a wish list for who would come up next?
I think, he's from Chicago. I think Pope Leo would be the kind of guy.
He did a lot of improv at Second City.
He was in the touring company with Bonnie Hunt for a couple of years. No. Listen, I think it's going to be a different era.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I don't listen. There's so many. I know so many great actors that I would love to work with, but I don't know. Wouldn't Ryan Reynolds be great? Wouldn't
Yeah.
Ida Lupino? No, she's gone. But you know what I mean.
Betty Grable.
Betty
Grable.
Grable.
No one remembers.
Yeah.
She's got gams forever.
Yeah, how about those gams? No, I don't know. I am always amazed at. Here's what the proudest I am of Only Murders. It has a reputation of being the happiest, loosest, most fun set to be on, and a lot of these great legendary names that we have attracted have heard that, and that's one of the reasons they're doing it. So, and I think that's because Steve and Selena and I all share a similarity that we like to work in happy joyness because that's your audience and that's you're going to work. You know, the big mistake people make sometimes in show business is that, you know, I've heard actors say, well, I try to create World War III on the set, and out of the ashes come my performance. And what's insane about that is that's assuming that this film or TV show is going to work.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can have and keep to yourself is the experience of doing it. And that's got to be the great fun hang to go to work. And if it's not, then quit.
I think the other thing that I would assume you've had this incredible career before Only Murders in the Building, but when a hit of this size comes, and you've already experienced success, but it's coming at this stage, it's coming at a time when you have a perspective on these hits like this don't come along.
No, they're miracles. They're total miracles. But I must admit, it sounds, and I really mean this, that I've done so many things that I've just loved doing, and some of them didn't become popular, and some did kind of, and some did. And I have great love for all those experiences. You know, some of the things that, I mean, I made this film Clifford.
Oh my God.
Everyone,
oh my God.
You know, when it came out, Roger Ebert, you know, attacked it on a level that he never attacked anything.
Right.
But I loved it. So that,
and
I think
also,
the only time when a critic gets you, the worst part is when you know it's not good and they've caught you.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's bad. But when you love something, that experience, it doesn't matter that the film didn't open that weekend once. You just live with it and love it the same way you like Only Murders in the Building.
Also, that endures. I mean, that's the nice thing now is I think, I have a saying, and I've said this to a lot of people, good work is never wasted. And it's one of my religious tenets is that if you do something that you love, that you think has real value, it will, over time, it will withstand everything.
Cream rises to the top.
Cream rises to the top, which is actually chemically not true. But
sinks like a stone. No, if you leave it out a few days, it will.
I forgot that part.
Yeah.
But I think that's when I think about you, it is, I mean, I was talking to you, I've done this before, but you came in and I was bothering you about your character on Arrested Development who is thrown by
Uncle Jack.
Yeah, who's thrown by a strong man to attack people, and that's one of my favorite. You're one of those people where I could sit back and think about you, and I go like, well, you know, nothing's better than Clifford. Wait, Arrested Development. Wait, that season on SNL. Wait, there's this, there's that, and there's just this constellation of incredible work that's all very distinct and different, and that is a gift to everybody. I mean, everybody in comedy, just any fans, everybody.
I think, but you could say the same thing about Kristen Wiig, about Catherine O'Hara, Andrea Martin. You know, so many people I've worked with, Christopher Guest, Billy Crystal. I've worked with the greatest people imaginable.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you work with people on that level, it's a tennis game. You got to, okay.
Gotta get
I remember the first day working with Meryl and driving to the studio and thinking, I'm nervous today. I haven't been kind of nervous going to the set for a long time. Oh yeah, it's Meryl Streep. Yeah.
I forget who it was, if it was you or maybe it was Tom Hanks told me that they were shooting a scene with Meryl Streep and they were in a movie with Meryl Streep, and at one point they wandered over to the set and she was sitting on the couch and she said, can you run lines with me? And I think it was Tom Hanks said, Meryl Streep has to like go over the lines. He just thought that she was so amazing, this oracle. He said he was relieved to know that she was nervous. She was looking.
Absolutely. So the first scene we shot in Only Murders was a scene where we're at the piano and we're kind of flirting a little bit, and the first shot setup is over her to me, so it's pressure's on me. And then we break down so that they can reverse the cameras and do her side. And we go into holding area and she just says, okay, nerves to half. And I go, wait a second, I was nervous. You can't be nervous.
This is this fallacy that You were terrified backstage before we did this. Terrified.
I know. Well, I mean, first of all, and oh God, I hate people who criticize other people, but your breath was not pristine.
My breath was not pristine.
It was like the breath of a cougar, really. No. So I do relax completely with you.
Yeah. And
I shouldn't, but I do.
You shouldn't, but
No.
there is a. This is different. Stakes, I
remember the first time we had a dinner with you and Liza.
Manelli.
His wife Liza, and she had just had a baby. Might have been Nev.
It was my daughter Nev. Yeah.
And it was 2006. I know dates like Rain Man. It was 2006.
October.
And it was Pa Schaefer.
Yeah.
My wife Nancy.
Yeah.
Me, and you. And I'd done your show, and that was planned. The first time we had dinner, and Liza wasn't going to come because she just had the baby.
Right.
But she decided to come.
An hour before.
She decided to come. And then at one point she said, I don't know if I'm hallucinating this table or if it exists.
Yeah. She was, and I think she was wearing one kind of shoe and another of another kind of shoe.
And that was 2006.
Yes.
I was on Broadway doing a show.
Yes. Yeah. You were doing Gypsy, I believe.
Yes.
You were Gypsy Rose.
Why did they do it? I had a dream.
No, I mean, I have that feeling still. I think it's a wonderful thing not to be jaded. And I have that still. If I have it today when I'm getting lots of makeup on to cover my eye vein.
He had so much makeup, and it's frustrating for her because he smiled and a hunk fell off, and they had to get spackle in it. Yeah.
But and then you walk in, and I go, oh, it's Marty, and but seriously, after all this time,
no, you don't.
No, I am very in touch with the Conan who was 15, 16, 17, in my 20s, 30s. I'm in touch with that guy.
Well, I
think
that's very true. I think that it's who was famous and meant something to you, whether it's sports or entertainment, when you were 12 and 13.
Yes.
Those are, I remember, after I was on Saturday Night Live and I was early in the movies, and Chris Guest and Jamie Curtis are friends of mine, and she was having a birthday for her 3-year-old daughter. So this is like, I don't know, 89 or something. And out of the kitchen comes Tony Curtis. And he looks like Tony Curtis.
Yeah.
And my favorite film was Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, oh my God.
And it's Tony, and it didn't matter. Tom Cruise, it wouldn't have mattered. But I like Tom Cruise. I'm just saying that.
No, it's a different thing.
It's when I was 12 and 13.
Yeah. Tony
Curtis.
Yeah. I used to have that about, we would get A-list movie stars on the show, and then occasionally we'd get someone like Don Knotts. Now,
Absolutely.
I grew up watching Don Knotts. I remembered one of my earliest memories is my mom would turn on the TV and leave for a couple of weeks, and I would watch the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
And Don Knotts is brilliant, and then The Incredible Mr. Limpet and all those movies in the 60s. And he came on the show, and that meant the world to me. And it didn't matter.
Totally agree.
So that was because I connected to him through the TV screen. And that's my situation with you.
Don Knotts was probably one of the biggest influences in my life because I, again, loved Andy of Mayberry when I was a kid. Little Ronnie Howard was on it. But what I loved about Don Knotts was the complete commitment to doing a character.
Yes.
And the one thing that I think is the secret to doing any character, whether you're even in a sketch or a movie like Father of the Bride or something, if it looks like you're trying to be funny, it won't be funny.
Yeah.
But if you make the audience believe that this person truly exists with all his foibles and insecurities, because this is what life is. You go to the cleaners and, I couldn't get the thing out, Mr. George. That guy exists. He's not trying to be a character.
Right.
He's a real person.
I was sitting in the audience on the SNL 50th. You were brilliant. Steve was brilliant. Everybody, I thought it was a wonderful show. I loved it. The thing that fascinated me the most was watching Eddie Murphy, because he I've met Eddie a couple of times. I don't know him well, but he's so supremely talented. And watching him, he did this Scared Straight sketch, and watching him come out, and he's not in character, he's not in character, he's not in character, he's not in character. And then they go 3, 2, and I saw him become completely his character. And then he did the same thing on the game show sketch where he becomes Tracy Morgan. I saw him, they're waiting, he's just getting, and then 3, 2, and I saw him at 1 physically become Tracy Morgan with his body.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is extraordinary, the commitment and all my favorite.
There's a reason he's Eddie Murphy.
Yes, but one time when I got to go backstage and say hi to Bruce Springsteen, because my drummer Max Weinberg is also in the E Street Band, he said, "Come back and see Bruce." And I went back to see Bruce Springsteen, and I said, "That was just insane. That was incredible." And he went, "Yeah, I'm still trying. If I can get that part where you do that one song, it isn't quite. So if I can just," and I thought, what is he talking about? First get that mouth fixed. You got to push the jaw back, and I keep writing him, and he won't write back.
No,
but it's a quick surgery.
It's a night guard he just won't wear. That's all. No, it's amazing. I remember Bill Hader told me the story that we were all it's 2012, and it was maybe the greatest stage thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was Philip Seymour Hoffman and Andrew Garfield in Death of a Salesman, directed by Mike Nichols. It was 2012. And it was the opening night. You couldn't comprehend. There was so much emotion on that stage. You said, well, they can't do it again. So Bill, I had escorted Bernadette Peters that night. And Bernadette's sitting beside me. And Bill Hader leans forward to say something to me and turns and hears Bernadette say, "How can they do it 8 shows a week? How is it possible?" And Bill said, "I'm sorry, I don't mean to eavesdrop. I just heard Bernadette Peters' question. How do they do it 8 shows a week?" I'm just lean back and ignore it because she'd only done 35 Broadway shows at that point. But it is incredible when you see great artists and they're still, probably Phil Hoffman or Andrew Garfield were thinking, "Oh, I didn't do that moment right."
Right.
And you're seeing something you think is historic.
It's funny because I think people, what you said about commitment, you have to be 1,000% committed to the character.
Right.
And I really feel that if you had kind of done, people think, well, okay, that applies to if you're playing Othello, if you're playing in Shakespeare. Yes, I understand. I'd say, no. It's what makes Ed Grimley funny. I'm serious, is that you are that person, you become that person, and it is deadly serious to you, even if you've got the crazy hair and because
there's another, it's like I look at Jiminy Glick, and if I had to sum him up, I would say a moron with power.
Yeah.
Because there is an assistant, when I order tuna, I do not expect it to not have Dijon mustard. That's a sin. And she's quivering and she screwed up the order. I love that idea. And Ed Grimley,
the idea that someone gave you a show, you know what I mean? Someone said he gets a show. He gets to interview people.
He became powerful, But Ed Grimley, I remember my sister-in-law was coming to California. This was 1979. I was doing a TV series, and they were flying down, and she hadn't flown that much, so it was still exciting for her. And she said, "Oh my God, I changed outfits 3 times trying to figure out what I would wear on the plane." And I'd already become jaded enough that I thought, how adorable to be 28 and still that excited by life. Yeah. And that became an inspiration to Ed Grimley, because so that Ed in an Ed sketch would be, the phone would be ringing. He'd say, "Oh, the phone is ringing. Gee, I love the phone. There's always such a sense of mystery." And Glick's thing was he'd reprimand people, and "I've had it with you." And you think, who this guy? That's why if I ever did something with with that Jiminy Glick, I would like to do Mr. Glick Goes to Washington. The idea that Glick becomes a congressman from Louisiana, and he's now in and he's working on defense. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to read books tonight.
In the current environment,
unless Lucy's on.
It's not. in the current environment, it's not that far-fetched.
No, it isn't.
Cabinet position. For
You
Jimmy.
that's you can't believe how broad it's gone.
Yeah.
It's broader
Yeah.
than any sketch, any character that you could comprehend.
Right, because the essence of comedy and political comedy is to take something that seems a little off and then skew it and bend it this way, but you can't do that now
you can't do
because you open the New York Times and it's Jiminy Glick has been named Secretary of the Interior.
And you'd say, sure.
And then your job as a comedian is to say, Jiminy Glick? Well, that's a... Jesus Christ. I don't know what to do with that.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to do with it.
Absolutely. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
I'm going to let you go into the wild. You're a man who's much in demand. I won't let you go until I tell you that if my career ends today, I will look at a camera that's not there and say, I don't care. I know Martin Short. I love you to death. You're the funniest person I know, and I'm just delighted for you. Really, seriously.
Wow, that is right back at you. And we're going to have dinner tonight.
No, I don't think so.
And I think, given the fact that I, as you people like to say, schlepped here, all the way here, I think you have to pay for dinner just to see what it's like. You know, Conan is notorious for never picking up a check. In fact, people think he has an impediment in his reach. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good to try the beef. Yeah.
I don't have the wallet. Marty Short, go with God, go with peace.
God
go
love you. Conan, thank you so much.
Martin Short!
Now we are going to take some questions from you, the crowd. Who's ready for some questions? And Conan, you could sit, you could stand if you wanted.
Leave me alone. I was standing and you told me to sit.
Well,
now I'm sitting and you
know.
told me to stand. I'll sit right here. It's very comfortable. We're all just pals hanging out.
Fantastic. So whoever has a question, raise your hand and Hopping will come get you and ask you. Oh, my goodness.
Got this.
Okay.
Hey, my name is Allie. I am
Hi,
from
Allie.
Long
How are you?
Island. I'm
Nice
great.
to see you today.
Nice to see you too. So, I actually won through Team Coco on IG. That
very
is
cool.
why I'm here. So thank you. I just wanted to let you know that for my 17th birthday in 2003, you hosted my birthday party.
What?
I know, because me and this beautiful angel.
Where did you get $500,000?
Well, we'll talk about that later. I can help you.
No,
out with
but
that.
no, I'm really curious.
So-
What happened?
So my best friend, this is my best friend Jasmine, and I got on a train from Long Island and went to a taping of The Late Night for my 17th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was March 2003. It was Colin Quinn, the Donnas, and Adrian Brody. So he
was starting his Oscar speech then.
Yes, he was starting. He was
And then we saw him finish it
Yes.
20 years later, yeah.
Because it was actually funny when you were talking about people when you were a teenager who just sit with you and stay with you, and you are one of those for me.
Oh,
so
that's
thank
nice.
you.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to let you know that we were teenagers, we were little scallywags, and we might have brought some alcohol and marijuana into your studio.
I remember that was a very good crowd.
We were. So I just.
Adrian Brody was getting laughs that he's never gotten since.
That was us. That was a bunch of.
So wait, how did you sneak it into NBC?
We put it in our backpacks and we.
Wow, it's really good security.
Amazing.
What's in your backpack? Don't mind. Okay.
It was like we had like 40s of Old English.
And no page said anything? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I had a backpack with only a bottle of vodka in it.
Yes.
Wait a minute, you weren't just taking. You didn't just. You took like a full functioning bar with you.
Yeah, pretty much. We're from Eastern Long Island. So
That doesn't
we had,
explain everything.
But we had an hour and a half on the Long Island
You
Railroad.
murdered? I'm from Long Island.
I'm from Long Island. But I just really wanted to let you know. And then we also had like an ounce of weed with us. We had a lot.
So you were smoking.
No. We smoked a blunt outside of Rockefeller Center in the middle of
So you
Rockefeller
don't remember
Center.
that? I don't even think you went to my show.
We did because
think
you ran past me and your hair was just blowing in the wind.
There's
and it
no
was just,
wind inside.
Well, you made it. It was. There were fans.
You were nowhere near my show.
I was. So I just wanted to say.
You were watching Live with Regis.
So I wanted to let you know, thank you for a very wonderful 17th
Well, I'll tell you
birthday
this.
party.
Your first name again is?
Allie.
Allie. it does have a lot of meaning to me. I bump into people on the street and they'll tell me I was here when you did this or this or that. And I really do feel like I'm seeing an old friend. So
Aww.
thank you. And,
Yes.
there were years early in my career, there's a lot of people who get very negative about aging, and we have such a youth centered culture, and it's worldwide, but I've enjoyed getting older because I'm very happy about my life. And, I'm very in touch with, as I was talking to Marty, I'm very in touch with when I was younger and so worried about, is the show going to make it? Am I going to make it? What's going to happen to me? Is this going to be okay? Or is anyone watching this? So when I bump into people who are watching way back when, it's really meaningful to me. So thank you.
You have been such a part of, and I'm going to speak for her, you've been a part of our lives for 25 years. So thank you.
But I was on for 33, so I can always find the negative. I can find the negative so fast. Yeah, I am the absolute worst. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do one more in here, then we're going out.
Oh wait,
there.
you go. Yeah, she's got to get
Two
one
more
too.
in here. We'll do two more in here.
Suddenly we don't have time. This is my favorite part. I
Hi,
don't like Marty. Go ahead.
My name is Maya, and I actually watched the very first episode in '93 that came out. I used to cut school as well from Brooklyn, and me and my friends used to come in and watch. It was always Bob Costas for some reason. Those were the episodes.
93 is all Bob Costas and Al Roker, and it was like Bob Costas Monday, Al Roker Tuesday, Bob Costas Wednesday. Yeah,
there was like a Fred Savage in there somewhere, just like
Sure.
the A-listers.
Yeah.
But actually, I've waited almost 18 years to say this. My daughter is named Nev because of the episode when you came back, and I think Andy at the time was like, "Oh, what did you name your daughter?" And you said Nev, and I remember watching her go, "What a gorgeous name!" And my daughter is 2007, and her name is Nev. And every time, and so I'm shaking right now because you have been my comedy legend, and I've waited 32 years to meet you. So
well.
thank you.
I am. Listen, I'm getting a hug before I go. I know HR will intervene, but I will tell you that it's so funny because when I named my daughter, when Liza and I came up with the name Nev, we were thinking of names, and we came up with the name Nev. We were really thinking of the Irish name Neve, and the only problem is that Neve, the Irish spell it because they love to do this. The Irish are such ornery bastards. They'll be like, it's Neve. How's it spelled? Niamfk. Like, they'll just throw stuff in. And there's this theory that they were doing it just to fuck with the British, like those bastards will throw consonants and vowels in there they've never heard of. And so we just thought, no, Nev. And so Neve is so clean. And then so many people were like, oh, after Nev Campbell. And I'm like, no, but I love Nev Campbell. She's great. But we were trying to do that Neve thing, but we wanted it to be Nev. And my wife and I are here in New York to do, she's got things to do, and I'm doing some stuff for Sirius XM. And we've been waiting because my daughter finished her junior year of college, and she's been abroad studying since then. And so I haven't seen her in a long time. And she came to New York last night, and I went down and waited on the street for her car to pull up. And she came out, and my wife and I we've got our Nev back. And that's how it is. It's no different than when I first met her, when she was born, way back when. And I'm sure it's the same with you. Yeah. When they're under your roof, you're so happy. And the only thing better is money and real estate. And cocaine. That's a lovely story. Thanks for saying that. One more. Let's do one more. And stop shutting down the love, Blay. What an asshole. Hello.
Hello. So my name is Billy, and I used to work at NBC, and I was there when you first got your late night show.
Okay.
And it was 1993, and they had a cocktail party on the top floor of 30 Rock. And you walked out, and I was in sales. I was like, and I met you, and everyone in the room, because you were a writer before that. Yeah. So everyone in the room goes, he is the next big thing. And we were all like, and you were just so gracious to everyone, and everyone loved you. And I have a question. So I actually have a question. My question is, you started your career as a writer, and
Yeah.
you were on The Simpsons and,
Yep.
and SNL. And
Mhm.
did you ever, when you first were starting, think of yourself to be in front of the camera, or has it just happened?
I did think about it, but I didn't. I knew it had to be the right way. But I knew what I wasn't. I knew I was not a stand-up.
Right.
I knew that I had something to offer, but I didn't know where it fit into the firmament. And I really didn't. I worked at SNL, and I never once looked at any of those cast members and thought, Dana Carvey, I could do that. And then insane events took place that could not have been thought of, where suddenly there's this seismic shift in late night. And this is, nowadays, they'd never have picked me, ever. They would have said, okay, the world is filled with hilarious people who've been making things on YouTube for years. And there's so many possibilities. Back then it was, oh no, who will host the show if Dave's not hosting it? We need to turn to an expert, and they turned to Lorne Michaels. And then the whole thing started, and Lorne looked around, but he was, and then lo and behold, I get a chance, which I was not ready for. Wow. But my lesson to everybody is when your moment comes, you may not be ready, but you have to take it and then figure it out on the way. And my analogy is a steel boat is leaving the port, and it's leaving, and you have to be on that boat. Leap. Now, there's a good chance when I landed on that boat, I hit my chest against the edge of the boat, hit my jaw, fell in the water, almost drowned, grabbed a rope, got dragged along, looked like an idiot, pulled myself up, bleeding, blah, 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 but I got on the boat. And it wasn't pretty, and I wasn't ready. And I did think seriously back then about, well, maybe I should wait till the next late night slot opens up for a complete unknown. And something in me said, you're an idiot.
Well, we're glad you took that leap.
Well, I'm delighted I took that leap. And I say often, I still can't believe, honestly, I was talking to Marty about being cynical. I cannot believe that happened. I still wake up some mornings and go, wait a minute, what? I'm at The Simpsons? I'm a writer in a dark room, and then that happened? And it worked? Not right away, but it worked? That's crazy. It is crazy. So you never know when your thing is going to come along. It won't come when you want it. It won't look the way you thought it was going to look. But I think that's true for all of us in different ways. So I'm crazily lucky to be here, and crazily lucky to have all of you caring at all about what I do. So thank you for being a part of this. I want you to relax. What's your name? Rachel. How you doing? Awesome. Oh, you're awesome. That's another hug. If listen, I need to sign forms first before I hug anybody. But I'm so lucky to have you in my life too. All right, you get that? You get it? All right.
Do you want to take? We have hopping outside the fishbowl. Do you want to take a question from out here?
I love that. I told David you're banned from the studio, and he chooses that. Yes, let's get someone from outside the fishbowl. David, do something. Yes.
Hello, my name is AJ. I'm from the Lower East Side. So
okay, how you doing, AJ?
Pretty good. Having a good time.
Wow, you seem thrilled.
Very, extremely.
You know what? The fishbowl blocks out 80% of the enthusiasm.
Yeah. I promise I just didn't have a long night last night. But we're here.
Well, now I want to know about this long night.
Oh, we could talk about it later. Don't worry. I don't need
I
a
think
hug.
you've been hanging out with these ladies.
Could have been. We could have been in the same spot. You never
know.
Yeah. But so my question, it kind of builds off what you were just talking about a bit, where I'm around the age where you would have got your first late night show.
Yep.
And I work in music. I don't make music. I do like social media work and like event curation and stuff like that. And I've got to have like good notes of success. Like I've got to make money, and I haven't had to like work for people I don't want to. I've been able to do things on my own. But you start getting to the point where it feels like a lot of the other people that started in this kind of like field with me that are in my age range, whether a little above or below, they're starting to like give up or do something else, or they think it's never going to materialize for them. And I think the things that I do like objectively are really quality and I really care about them and stuff like that. But it's easy to kind of look around and start being like, well, maybe they have the right idea and maybe it is kind of time to like.
Are you enjoying it? Do you
I love it
So why would
every
you
single
stop?
day. Because sometimes it's not the like feasible option, or it's not the, you went to school for something. Maybe you should figure out something to do with that.
I think that's everyone has to figure it out for themselves, and it would be very pat of me to say, "Don't give up on your dreams." But there's everyone intuitively knows what the right thing to do is. They do. There's like a little person inside you that knows, and there are people who say, "I'm going to stop doing this. This isn't right for me. I think I should pursue this other thing." And I think it's wrong to say they gave up, because something in them spoke to them and said, it'd be like if I had said, I want to make my living playing, I love playing guitar and singing rockabilly music, and it's like a hobby of mine. But if I quit comedy and was doing that and didn't have any reserves of money or anything, I would probably at some point go, yeah, this is a fun hobby, but this is not what you should be doing. But that's something that's something that you will figure out. And I think if you love it and you're able to put a roof over your head and you can buy a sandwich, then you keep doing it if you love it. Because yes, if you've got a family to support and you're making no money on it and your kids are not getting, don't have medical coverage, it's not giving up to say, okay, this is not feasible. You know what I mean? But if that's not the case and this speaks to you and it's your passion, I say that you keep going because you don't know where it's going to lead. But I think there is a pat philosophy, which is pursue your dreams and you too can be Taylor Swift. And I think, well, no, a lot of people can't be Taylor Swift. In fact, it's been proven that only Taylor Swift can be Taylor Swift. And she gets to record each song 9 times and you'll buy all of them. So apparently even she can't be Taylor Swift. But in the pursuit of that, you will make other decisions along the way. So I don't like the pat answer, you've got to stick with your dreams, man. Because first of all, that's an annoying voice. And second of all, I think that it's very personal. It's the most personal thing in the world, what you decide to keep doing. And if you're willing to do the thing you love and be humble about it and realize that, no, I don't need to fly in a private jet. I don't need a Bugatti. I don't need, fancy, huge this or huge that. I have all those things 10 times over. I drive 10 Bugattis at the same time. I've glued one to the other. So if you see me in 10 Bugattis driving, wasting fossil fuels, that's just because I can have it. But that was not the goal. The goal was, I love this, and if I just get to meet Martin Short, I'm good, and pay my rent. And so my first apartment was a $380 a month apartment in New York, in Los Angeles, and I drove really awful used cars that I bought at the airport. But I was happy. In many ways, it's not like I was miserable. I was happy because I was I was working with funny people and writing comedy and paying my rent. So it doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't. I mean, you add little things along the way, but the way that my life has substantially improved is my wife and my kids. But the other stuff doesn't make me markedly happier than when I had a $380 a month apartment. I was happy then, and I'm happy now. So that is a fallacy that it's all about money. Still, I'm glad that I've done so well financially.
I think we have time for one more question out there, outside. There goes hopping.
I like that you narrate the
audio medium.
Microphone handoff.
Hi, my name is Cooper. I'm from Long Island, New York. I haven't seen you yet, except today. My question is...
You don't know who I am, do you?
Never heard of you. No clue.
Okay. It'll work.
No. My question is, when you were on The Simpsons and SNL, what was your reaction when you wrote something and an actor just completely changed it?
I think it's interesting. I don't think Simpsons was very locked down, so that wouldn't happen. And if someone did change something, it was for the better. So if you're working with a Hank Azaria or a Dan Castellaneta, I mean, they would riff sometimes, and what they would riff and come up with was just better. And I always like any system where the best thing wins, you know. And so if I'm working on it, if it was my script and someone improvised something and it got into the show, a good chance it was better than what I had come up with. So I had no sense of, how dare you, Dan Castellaneta, who are you to improvise my words? I'm 24 and my skin is clearing up. And I felt the same way at SNL. It was very disciplined. Lorne empowered writers. And so it wasn't the old studio system the thing in the 50s where writers are just these guys that, you know, banging away on typewriters and they never get close to the stars and people, you know, abuse them. I've always been in a system where writers were empowered. So it didn't really happen to me that often. It wasn't really a thing. And like I say, if someone did change something, it's because, you know, if Phil Hartman or Dana Carvey changed something, I wasn't backstage saying, that idiot. It was like, wow, yeah, I wrote that. I just take credit for it. So that was my feeling.
Awesome. Okay, I think we're done. That's it. We did the thing.
Hey, we did the thing.
Thank you all for being here.
Hugs. Also, I want someone to look through their bags. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, sponsored by Macy's. I made the mistake the other day of wearing shorts because it was so hot, and we were taping the show. Martin Short was the guest, and he came out during rehearsal, and I wish you had been there for this, Sona, because he is one of the best insult comedians of all time, and we weren't even rolling tape or anything, and he just told, in 2 minutes, 155 cruel jokes about my legs and me wearing shorts. And I mean, I can't even remember most of them because it was like a machine gun, and everyone, the crew, everybody was howling and laughing at me. Now, so you're off to summer camp. Is that the idea, you know? I'm going to go to summer camp. Is that? Well, I hope you have a good time, you know. And then, now is that, those freckles, they're benign. Are they benign? Have they been checked? And just wang, 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 wang.
Oh, man.
And of course, I maintain he's, you know, funniest human being on this spinning globe. He's hilarious, but merciless. And I remembered thinking, it's the one time I wore shorts and I'm never wearing them again.
Okay.
I don't care if it's...
So he hurt your feelings a little bit.
No, I just, it's...
It's okay if he did.
No, it just... like, he found the vulnerability. I must completely... I must immediately seal the vulnerability. You know, it's like when they built the second Death Star, they didn't build the same vulnerability again, did they, Matt?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, did they?
Oh. Yeah, it was worse.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I mean, I should have yes-anded, but yeah.
They did?
Well, yeah, instead of just a thermal exhaust port, you could fly a full couple of ships in there and get it this time.
I didn't realize that. I can't remember it. I thought it blew up. I can't remember why it blew up in the
But I get what you're saying. I think like one time I wore a sweater with a collar on it and you lit into me and I was like, I'm never wearing that again.
Why did you have that sweater?
Conan.
No, I'm just...
What do you mean?
It's
why
a
did he have
common
that
sweater?
What he just wanted? Why do you have shorts?
Well, everyone has shorts.
Yeah, but come on. You know you're going to get made fun of.
Right. It's true.
Here's the thing. You make fun of yourself. You're the one who always says how like pale your skin is, how many freckles you have, how freakishly long your legs are.
I had a memory in camp. I was in summer camp in Freedom, New Hampshire. The year was 1974, I think. And I'll never forget, the food wasn't great on this camping trip. And I remember someone lopped off a giant slice of Spam and dropped it into a frying pan. Oh. And I looked at it, and then I looked at my legs and realized that they look exactly the same. If you want to know what my bare flesh looks like, open any can of Spam from like the 1940s.
Yeah.
I've heard you reference Spam for your flesh before, but I didn't realize there was an actual origin story to it.
Yeah, there was an origin story. I remember looking at it and then looking at my leg and being really bummed out. and then taking a bite out of my leg and realizing it tastes very similar to Spam.
I'm not saying this to make fun of you, but I just thought that during the summer, especially when it's really hot, you have to be covered like head to toe, to wear a hat and like long pants and like UV protection shirts, which I didn't even know existed until I started working for you.
And bought them in bulk.
I do have UV protection shirts stashed everywhere.
Yeah.
The way an alcoholic hides bottles, I have UV protection shirt stash. So you know, in those any after school movie or whatever, when they depict someone who's got a drinking problem, you know, it's always someone opens a closet or something and there's all these empty vodka bottles. That's what it's like for me. But it's cut off sleeves. It's just the sleeve that comes up that you can buy from some company. And they're called like Gloody Doodies. And you pull them on and they cover just your sleeves.
Gloody Doody.
And I've got all those loose fitting shirts that all those companies make.
Yeah.
And I've got SPF 50 stashed everywhere.
I know. It's not your fault.
It's not my fault. God did it to me. A cruel God. A very cruel God.
Gentlemen, it's a rare honor to have you both here.
Thank you, Conan.
In the same room.
I'll tell you one thing, it's rare to be here.
It is.
I left out the word honor, but it's just an oversight.
Just before we started recording, Marty, you verbally assaulted me.
No. I said it with love, that to me, when I see you, you look like someone freeze-dried Prince Harry. That's all I said.
My staff looks forward to any time that Marty.
Pardon me?
I have a staff.
Wow.
It gets.
What kind of podcast is this?
Well, it's very lucrative.
It gets smaller every year, but fans of my show, and yes, there are fans of the work that I've done in the past. Let's not have any mock surprise about that. But they have put together a mashup of Marty coming on the show and ripping me apart, and it is wildly popular.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, it is. It is wildly popular, and it delights my writers to the point where the last time when we were wrapping up the late night show, a epic 28-year run, thank you, I'm driving to one of the last episodes that Marty's going to do, and he did an extremely funny bit on it, and I'm driving to the theater, and I look down and I realize I'm doing something I rarely do, which is wear shorts. And immediately I thought, I'm driving towards the Largo Theater, and I thought, fuck, Marty, who's on today? Marty's on today. And I knew that he would destroy me. And sure enough, you come in and hello, everybody. And then I see those two eyes dart over, and they see my freckled legs bare. And it began. And it was...
Well, it was quite a sight. It was absolutely a terrifying sight. And you couldn't, because normally you can't see where the stilts are attached, but you could that day. The shorts revealed way too much.
Oh, and they were short shorts.
Yeah.
They were 1970s.
Yeah, Joey Heatherton kind of like you were entertaining the troops.
But the writers were so happy. And then, of course, the line that you said it on late night, and it's lived forever, which is, well, you'll do it better than I, but it was, Conan, whatever you're doing to your face, I say 20% more and then stop. Which is mean in 9
and
different...
yet it's a love letter. It's a combo. It's a combo of energy.
I love it's also done with care.
Yes.
You're worried about me.
Yeah.
A little more, about 20% more.
Now I feel like I have to put you down, and I've got nothing.
No, you don't. You don't, because you're Steve.
Oh.
Help. Line.
Well, I don't want to embarrass either of you, so I won't mention that you are just two of my absolute comedy heroes. I'm sure you hear that kind of thing all the time, and it bores you. But one of the pleasures of my life, and I'm not kidding, was when you asked me to do a cameo in your show, your live show, Caesar's Palace in
right.
Las Vegas. And I was outside my body getting to be on a stage with you guys. It made me so happy, so legitimately, sincerely happy.
You killed.
I remember he did kill. Yeah. I mean, we learned a lesson because you showed up with writers.
One writer. I can't afford two. I showed up with my.
Well, you're a writer.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, I suppose I am. No, and Matt. He's Matt O'Brien, no relation, but I only hire O'Briens,
yeah,
and he idolizes you both as well, and he was just in heaven. And then there was, but I thought, yeah, come along with me and help me tweak a few things, because I really wanted it to be better than what I could do alone.
It was inspiring, and we've had people show up with nothing, no writers, and they did way better, by the way.
And then I heard you guys later bumped into Letterman, and he was like, "Conan brought a writer."
No, because Dave did it as well one night. Yeah, in Texas.
What was the line? You were sitting off stage with Dave, and he looked. What was it? You were sitting off stage waiting for him to come on, and he looked kind of morose.
Mm-hmm. This sounds like Dave so far.
They edit, by the way.
He had
okay.
No. He had not at all. No. An editor costs money as well. Everything is in. No, but it was fantastic. It was. But I remember you were saying that Dave was he had been off the air for just a little bit, and then of course he always does the thing where he's horrified that if I go on stage, it'll just be awful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're David Letterman. What do you but he's done it.
And of course the place goes nuts.
Yes.
And then afterwards, he still has a negative feeling about it. Even though he killed.
But he had only been off a few, I think this was like in June, and he'd left 6 weeks before.
Right. Exactly. But his personality is always, he came by, and which meant a lot to me, did a cameo on Late Night, which was his old studio, and he came by, and of course his attitude was, well, they're just going to hate me.
I know.
Well, there's an event.
How will they know who I am? Will you say my name before I come out?
There's a self-defense mechanism in being overly paranoid, and then when you get a little cheer when you come out, you go, oh, I was wrong.
Yes. I'm familiar with
Except
that.
with Marty.
Yeah, I think with
Marty.
me, yes, I think it's kept me out of the big money, not having that attitude of just kind of going, oh, you don't like me? Well, I don't like you either. But good night.
Yeah.
It is a little.
No, he does have that attitude. I'm the insecure, shaking one. And he says, I don't give a fuck.
Right. They're going to love me.
Well, if they don't, guess what? If I had dinner with them, I'd be bored. That's how I approach it.
Oh, yeah. Well, often that was your opening line, though.
It was, and I didn't know why it didn't play. And who are you people? No one's bathed, obviously. Good night.
Where's my big money? Why didn't I get the big money?
Why don't they like me? They don't never hire me again.
I was, so I got to see your show, and I was so impressed with how you guys worked it out. And even though you both knew the show so well, you had a rehearsal, and you were still working so hard to make sure that it went perfectly at rehearsal. And I thought, there are no accidents. Like, people that are good, in my opinion, there is talented, but there is talent, but then there's just this just mad desire to get it perfectly right, and it never goes away.
Well, I always think that.
By the way, I'm here too. Go ahead.
Oh, did you just sneak into this chair?
I did.
No, but I'm always amazed.
I feel like should I start raising my hand?
Okay, well, go ahead. You say something.
No, I don't have it.
I had something.
I
brilliant.
say I think we prepare. I prepare out of fear.
Yep.
And also love, because when we get a new joke, I'm energized the whole show. I cannot.
It's true.
Wait to get to this joke. And often they don't work. In fact, here's an example, because I thought.
Let me just say, when they don't work, I am like either on stage or in the wings, I go hysterical.
Yes.
Because he's been so excited all day about this. Go ahead.
I had a joke the other night. I thought, when I introduced Marty, I thought, oh, this is really going to work.
Right.
And then we're going to analyze why it didn't work afterwards.
Yes.
But I said, and this man, he's done live television, he's been in film, and he's done Broadway, and truly, he is a master of the toxic workplace environment. And it was just sort of like,
Uh-huh.
And I realized later it's had too many words in it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I don't
or
think
it
it's
needed
that.
to be more of like a casual throwaway in the
It's
middle of
also
our chat.
inside
Yeah.
toxic. You had to have just read the story about that talk show.
Oh, you mean
lady.
Be Alive?
No. I don't think everyone is following, Variety. and
Everybody knows
memorizing.
about a toxic workplace environment.
Obviously
We're in one
not,
right now.
because you got nothing on the joke.
Yeah.
Remember that part?
I mean, Conan's shorts represent a toxic workplace environment.
Absolutely for the crew.
Yeah.
Oh, we settled out of court.